Dr. Dominic Kwame Obeng Ando faced accusations of causing harm to patients and even murder before his Obengfo Hospital will be closed. He was arrested and put on trial for unregistered practice and operating an unlicensed health facility. He was in and out of court facing the Medical and Dental Council. He was named and shamed in a manner that it was and became not difficult at all for me to call his bluff and show that his suit against the multimedia group, Seth Kwame Boateng and Manasseh Azuri-Awini, was a dead on arrival nuisance action. We call it SLAP. They take it just to shut everybody up. They know it's nuisance. They know they won't win, but they take the suit because they have money. Fake Dr. Jonathan Ohene in Kunim damaged unsuspecting patients. He dragged and raped many of the women who visited his Nature's Hand Therapeutic Center in Bawe before Manasseh Azuri-Awini and the Fourth Estate exposed him and got him arrested. The licensed predator who advertised himself as a doctor and a preacher, a man of God, was disowned by the Allied Health Professional Council. Now a fake doctor, Sansa Dali, just had her appointment to the board of directors of the National Health Insurance Authority revoked. She had advertised herself as such and even got, a not diligent lawyer to issue what is now an embarrassing empty threat to those who exposed her. It may have been revoked even before she could be sworn in, but how credentials verification? That seems easy to do. Very easy to do. Just check with the Medical and Dental Council. She says she's graduated from Johns Hopkins, School of Medicine. Easy to check. How all this escaped all those involved in her appointment is curious. We have Niama Amatefio to thank for vigilance and the petition he took to the Medical and Dental Council, and Reginald Sechi Brown for also going further to confirm with the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine that Sansa Dali was never there. Now, this must not end here. The state must prosecute her to show that we are a serious country. A serious country that abhors this bad conduct. You're not a doctor. You say you're a doctor and you're killing people out of it. People are doing it. Why do we do that? People are carrying fake PhDs around. Why? She has committed various crimes, including violating the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act 2013 and the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, both of which prohibit making a false declaration for registration as a medical or dental practitioner, falsely using the title doctor or any designation suggesting professional licensure in medicine, practicing or receiving payments for medical services without being duly registered, falsely pretending and knowingly misrepresenting facts with intent to defraud, making a false document, and dealing with or knowingly presenting a forged document. The law prohibits all of this. So she's caught on just too many fronts of the law. We build a decent country on our good traditions and culture, the good Bible, the Quran, and the law, which teach us that we will suffer punishment and embarrassment if we do not tell the truth, we act corruptly, and if we do not act with integrity. And that is my take. The state must take this beyond revoking her appointment.
service will be a disca. Yeah, but you more any make a chat any generation to wasi. That is not the position of the law. To wasi. So ususu be a bonia. Fanoko court. Mimi who be that certain general say, why movie are this will be Gina a or be fair press conference now. Be casa press say, nipa we wedi boni me be cheno me won't be sada. The kind Attorney General Korea never kind oral and quam so oral and quam my best and 10 billion. Around of there, 10 billion. Let's can do so. I said 21 and 2.2 billion oral quam. And then Attorney General say Ghana for coming out as you say. Obia what do you say oral scout bet me a jiska oral who ye now should I owe nyame. And this same Attorney General last week, maybe catch it and say, "Sir, no prosecutor now, or file a court about Kwabena Dufo and others. No, it will be a dent on his image as a celebrated lawyer. Trust me, maybe has said it will be a dent on his image as a celebrated lawyer. Now, by catch them say." Obi wi Ghana ska memfa nipa na wi ska o wi ska 100 cities o say or the sister cities aba because or the sister cities aba ntino 40 na kan there when nye ho into the asem no mu a technically what you are saying is say bikonya ban office bi tena sa ban sika bi bedi mi nsem a menyere me ho na memfa bi se me mia mania na mefa bi a ye cheme a me de kwa de bi ase me yo man ba pentina me de 70 ko na aka 30 na so so ampa say so man we $100 million be di me ho na me de 60 million ko na me fa 40 na aka na hia me no mabusu afọ kra da ni 40 million USD ateni jina me ka just to bo ase ena na we cheche won se cheche mu so ade ba yan siso
MOU and all of that, and of course also for initiating the debt restructuring, which has created,
which was as a result of the sacrifice of the people.
Even including our external commercial and external bilateral. It has been painful, but it has also created a certain fiscal space, a room for this government to be able to launch the many interventions that they have done. And others have said that leadership.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. I want to commend the Business Committee through the chairman for a very detailed statement, in particular, a number of papers that will be laid on various days. Mr. Speaker, I want to recommend that they prepare a supplementary business statement, as you just mentioned, to include some other papers. The reason is, Mr. Speaker, they are papers that concern issues of national interest, issues of economic interest, programs that have been launched by the government. Until date, we have not received a single A4 sheet detailing it, which will make the oversight function of Parliament difficult. And I just want to bring to his attention, the Agric for Economic Transformation Program, or Feed Ghana, was launched on the 14th of April 2025. Program document is not before Parliament. The 1 million coders program, 17th April 2025. Program document is not before Parliament. The National Apprenticeship Program, 30th April. Program document is not before Parliament. The Ejumera Program, 28th April. Program document is not before Parliament. Just about 2 weeks ago, Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy, I think, was launched. The Speaker even admonished that it properly be laid before Parliament for our consideration. And then on the 31st of May, His Excellency the President announced a labor export program, about 2,000 people to be sent abroad for work. Mr. Speaker, it's important that the program documents for all of these economic programs are brought before this House so that oversight can start. So I want to encourage the Business Committee to consider a supplementary. We have just about 2 or 3 weeks to rise. Consider a supplementary and bring these policy or program documents so that this House can exercise.
Dr. Dominic Kwame Obeng Ando faced accusations of causing harm to patients and even murder before his Obengfo Hospital will be closed. He was arrested and put on trial for unregistered practice and operating an unlicensed health facility. He was in and out of court facing the Medical and Dental Council. He was named and shamed in a manner that it was and became not difficult at all for me to call his bluff and show that his suit against the multimedia group, Seth Kwame Boateng and Manasseh Azuri-Awini, was a dead on arrival nuisance action. We call it SLAP. They take it just to shut everybody up. They know it's nuisance. They know they won't win, but they take the suit because they have money. Fake Dr. Jonathan Ohene in Kunim damaged unsuspecting patients. He dragged and raped many of the women who visited his Nature's Hand Therapeutic Center in Bawe before Manasseh Azuri-Awini and the Fourth Estate exposed him and got him arrested. The licensed predator who advertised himself as a doctor and a preacher, a man of God, was disowned by the Allied Health Professional Council. Now a fake doctor, Ansansa Dali, just had her appointment to the board of directors of the National Health Insurance Authority revoked. She had advertised herself as such and even got, a not diligent lawyer to issue what is now an embarrassing empty threat to those who exposed her. It may have been revoked even before she could be sworn in, but how credentials verification? That seems easy to do. Very easy to do. Just check with the Medical and Dental Council. He says she's graduated from Johns Hopkins, School of Medicine. Easy to check. How all this escaped all those involved in her appointment is curious. We have Niama Amatefio to thank for vigilance and the petition he took to the Medical and Dental Council, and Reginald Sechi Brown for also going further to confirm with the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine that Sansa Dali was never there. Now, this must not end here. The state must prosecute her to show that we are a serious country. A serious country that abhors this bad conduct. You're not a doctor. You say you're a doctor and you're killing people out of it. People are doing it. Why do we do that? People are carrying fake PhDs around. Why? She has committed various crimes, including violating the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act 2013 and the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, both of which prohibit making a false declaration for registration as a medical or dental practitioner, falsely using the title doctor or any designation suggesting professional licensure in medicine, practicing or receiving payments for medical services without being duly registered, falsely pretending and knowingly misrepresenting facts with intent to defraud, making a false document, and dealing with or knowingly presenting a forged document. The law prohibits all of this. So she's caught on just too many fronts of the law. We build a decent country on our good traditions and culture, the good Bible, the Quran, and the law, which teach us that we will suffer punishment and embarrassment if we do not tell the truth, we act corruptly, and if we do not act with integrity. And that is my take. The state must take this beyond revoking her appointment. That is not
the position of the law. So ususu obi aye bone a fa no court. Me hu bi da sa attorney general say oye hwemu wi a yes obegina ayi obefre press conference na obekasa a kire press say nipa we wadi bone me beche no me hu bi sada ne ka Attorney General Korea never kind oral and quam, so oral and quam my best and 10 billion. Around of this and best and 10 billion. Let's can do so. I said 21 and 2.8 billion oral quam. And the Attorney General say, Ghana for coming at as I said, Obia, what do you say, oral scout, bet me a Giska, oral who you're in now should I owe Yanni. And this same Attorney General last week, maybe catch it and say, Sam Nolly prosecutor now, or file a court about Kwabra Dufo and others. No, it will be a dent on his image as a celebrated lawyer. Trust me, Mekai. Mebeka has said it will be a dent on his image as a celebrated lawyer. Now, by catch me say. Obi wiya Ghana ska memfa nse nipa na wiya ska o wiya ska 100 cedis o say or the sister cedis aba because or the sister cedis aba ntin 40 na kan there wani nye ho into the work asem no mu a technically what you are saying is say me konya ban office bi tena sa ban sika bi bedi mi nsem a menyere me ho a na memfa bi se me mia mania na me fa bi a ye cheme a me de kwa de bia say me yo man ba pentina me de 70 ko na ka 30 na so ampa say so man we $100 million be di me ho na me de 60 million ko na me fa 40 na aka na ga ehia me no mabusu afọ kra da ni 40 million USD ateni jina me ka to say to bo ase eno na we cheche mo se cheche mo so ade ba yan siso.
Every day is packed with its own surprises. You never know which thrill is around the corner.
Feel good. Feel good.
Or how it will play out. There's a sense of excitement.
Did our plane just stop?
Another cash out.
That adds a little magic to my everyday.
Feels like a party tonight.
iPhone papa ye wo homa
so open iPhones accessories papa dia menhwe baby a
me mo akwa ba EBA phones and accessories.
Sebani EBA yeton iPhones any ho accessories. iPhone 50 XL cost 16 Pro Max. Accessories ye wo charger, AirPods any iPhone ho akade nyina. Nianoma ye ni sika pudu e de beto iPhone. Say ya ankrankre, boja and na say aboye adwuma ye phone nyina. For 40% beji iPhone bia ope. Na ni aka no, wo de bosome miensa. Etua ne nkakra. E kwan ya obefa so de atwi anyi. Dial *713*5571#. Oba, sheno so se wode wo Ghana card. Ene nia ye kire se oye adwuma. Hwehwe ye kire kwan e wo circle mo. Ene tip tolling ye ni modern photos enchen ho a. Afein so se wo ba American Mall ye ni odo right ene di nhwani. Kuma senso ye wo edum Central Prisons roundabout ejekum abonsan ni mo. Freyen e wo numbers na ebu screen ni so no. EBA phones no hassle cra.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354. Also 0531 600 and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking Publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate's Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcates. Happy smile.
Welcome to Rehoboth Palm Ayimensa Gated Community. Nestled between the vibrant city of Accra and the breathtaking Ebri Mountains lies a serene gated community. Here, you'll find litigation-free, fully serviced demarcated plots to build your dream house in a gated community surrounded by lush greenery and the calming beauty of nature. Perfect canvas for your dream home you want to build. With well-tarred roads, a reliable drainage system, electricity and water, fully serviced plots are ready for your vision. Enjoy exclusive amenities like a swimming pool, tennis and basketball courts, all within the comfort of your community. Start your mornings with peaceful walks or energizing jogs under the shade of palm trees and stunning views of the Peduase Ebri Mountains and city skyline. Starting from 450,000 Ghana cedis and a flexible payment plan, visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com to make inquiries. Call or WhatsApp us on 020-682-3524, 055-375-1933, or 024-476-4499. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's a new. Improve car. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friendly sasso quell. Yeah, cool to my sasso. Atom Preko.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukuro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Pay right, borehole drilling.
Hey! Eja pay reject for Abama and show sama ye dewa. Pay reject adaromanti. If ye be money and show, ain't it so young crankre? A jumaku, in swan sorry, namu pay and show did you may be a dear. Make out for pay reject the amount. Any pay reject, Wama quadratic our borehole drilling. Water purification, any bibiada a fat in show. Netie, pay reject in Kwane borehole drilling company. Wotu so mawa, was sound super a brano, eba besha sending so netie, and sayo, woman sounds so the Shishasun Kokra, a guponoswa, ye de babe bo amosika sem piano alcoye. Hey, won't pay way now per day. With them, call them now. Flying, I was 0240-217253, 0240-217253. Pay right GH, since so young quadia, and ye maunkwa.
Tonight, we take our turn to eulogize the Yentiobia multiple award-winning hitmaker, Charles Kojo Fosu, the Daddy Lumba. Live in the studio will be Kofi Ochre Dako, a seasoned entertainment critic who is also now the presidential advisor on diaspora affairs. This will be Kofi's first TV interview on a political show since his much welcome appointment. Lumba's death has rocked many people from all walks of life. The young, the old, the NDC, the NPP. Whilst Lumba was loved by many, there were also those who apparently hated him. Green envy and evil jealousy can be seen in this.
Since so born, you want him that Lumba Ghana, what would so lead any positive pact? No! Or chairman kwasia for the time we do not be born kwasia jantranom na enkwani di echire or nam hada di Lumba aboso the namosa no ko wuso otwen.
Well, we discuss the good of Lumba. Also tonight, the Attorney General has spoken on the government platform of accountability series. He explained the Dr. Duford discharge through a nolle prosequi and also updated on other cases. He said that oral is very much on the beat. We'll look at that in some detail. In politics, Kwabena Eje Japan has launched his campaign to join Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Kennedy Ohene Japan, Brian Achampong, Oseya Educhum, and Joe Gate for the NPP's nomination. Will Kwabena Japan win, or has he come too late? Whatever it is, no one, absolutely no one, can deny the fact that Kwabena Japan is a true stalwart of the NPP. We talked to him directly in the studio. Join us online, on Facebook, on TV, and on radio 94.1 FM, as well as on DSTV channel 277.
met Bodo Steiger through Esther Mwakum. That's the first time I met him. She's the first lady that I recorded with. That's a Mitrimu Ponya Bone album, and it has the He Can Do It on it. He is the Lord. Is there anything too hard for him? He is the Lord. He has said it, and surely will do. Hold on to your faith, your confession, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. He can do it. He can do it. Do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do. The sound engineer, he was a sound engineer for Daddy Lumba as well. So he just popped up one day and said, Tina, I have good news for you. Daddy Lumba doesn't have a backing vocalist. And I told him about you. I told him I have this young lady that can sing. I want to bring her over, so we try her. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. You like playing, like, you know, are you serious? Daddy Lumba wants to try me. I was like, yeah. I spoke about him. I told him you're very gifted. I think you can do it. We should try you. So we were living in Holland. Holland and Germany shares borders. So we drove over to Daddy Lumba. It's about 6 hours drive from Holland to Germany, where Daddy Lumba was located. So this is the very first song that I recorded with Daddy Lumba. Oh, the first sichere gumitri mane na niye. Neka baby guma suma wa singumi ai. Asoko here, asoko there. More don't say. Asoko here, asoko there. More don't say. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, baby. All day, all night, alright. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, baby. All day, all night, alright.
Welcome to this edition of the show. It's not an exciting moment. It's 27 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Last Saturday, news hit us all over the world, especially in many Ghanaian communities across that Daddy Lumba had unfortunately passed at the age of 60. A few months, nearly a month short of his 61st birthday. Last year, we were all here when Daddy Lumba celebrated his glorious 60th birthday to wide applause from people from all walks of life. This year, looking towards the 61st birthday, Daddy Lumba has had to say goodbye. He kicked the bucket and he is going to be with the ancestors until we meet again at the day of the resurrection. Now, tonight we'll pay some tribute to that. I felt really sorry about the Daddy Lumba the situation, but I felt very sorry for Kennedy Japan, not the politician, the businessman Kempon, because there are a few times I've seen Daddy Lumba personally. I've seen him in his home. Here's a video of Kennedy looking very distraught, visiting Daddy Lumba's home earlier today, I believe. I saw it on social media, and I'd like to look at it. That's Kennedy arriving at Daddy Lumba's home. The bloggers wanted him to say a few words. He couldn't even speak. He couldn't put words together. Kempon, who was by and large one of the important sponsors of Daddy Lumba's Yentiobia music. Some of the videos were shot in his home at Airport Residential Area, in the same home where I've seen Daddy Lumba at least 3 or 2 times in Kennedy's company in his home at the Airport Residential Area. And we have had long conversations. I remember Patrick Boama, the Member of Parliament for Okaikwe, was also in those late night conversations. Kennedy would call me and say that Upon Abra na Lumba waha. I'll go and see Daddy Lumba. Daddy Lumba for me looked quite calm. He spoke very little, and Kennedy would tell me that Lumba Simin Bissau said, we are Chimney and now we are Santini, and that we had those conversations. And of course, all of us in the room there, myself, Kennedy, Lumba and Patrick Boama, were all Asante Kotoko people, so the conversation will veer off to the fortunes of our great club. These conversations, I think, were in 2015, 2016. By that time, Daddy Lumba had released the Entiobia. And in the Entiobia, he had mentioned Kennedy. You remember he said, Kennedy Japan, Kwauni Ba, Didi Nawabre. Something like that, some line like that in the song. I'm delighted to say tonight I have Kwabene Japan in the studio, another big Lumba fan who also launched his campaign today. He'll be talking to us. Kweku Ansansare is also here. We'll speak to Kweku Ansansare first. And I'm going to say something about Kweku Ansansare that he doesn't know. He taught me a very important prerogative writ in the law. He's the only one who understands that writ. Many people don't talk about it. When it comes out, talk about it. It's a very, very important one. It's often not used. We're always talking certiorari, co-warranto, and injunction. But there's one that Asansari taught me back in the day in the Makola Law School. I'll talk about it today. And Kwabena Japan is here. He's launched his campaign as well. Kwabena will be joining us later on for the Lumba conversation. Originally, we were supposed to have... Kempon is calling me. Let me tell you that. Hello, Kennedy. Me can't watch some TV, so I told him my friend. He cut the line. Kempon was very, very distraught today. I think he's calling to say I shouldn't show his video because he wasn't looking very good. I'm sure that's why he's calling. But I needed to show it because life is like that. Some things hit you that you are human. You have to succumb to it, and that's what happened. Show me the Kennedy video again. He attended the place. I mean, many people who have attended there have managed to hold themselves together, but I can understand why Kempon was so distraught. I mean, wow, he and Lumba are like brothers. Lumba lived in his house many, many days, many, many nights. They were in Germany together, back and forth, recording the song. Kempon was there 2015, 2016. You call me and say that Lumba Wahana Brabrani didn't come. And Lumba didn't speak much in those days when I was there. He smiled quite often. But he didn't say much. I was delighted to see the Obiat Tenusubo hitmaker sitting right next to me in the same sofa in Kempon's house at the airport residential area. And Lumba terribly loved Kempon's Z3 BMW car. Lumba really loved that car, and you hang around it. Kempon would say he should drive it, etc., etc. But that's Kempon in your short. Kennedy Japan, Kwauniba, Obrefo Didi Nawabre. This is what Lumba said in his Yentiobia song. And this is the man he was referring to, Kennedy Japan, Kwauniba, Obrefo Didi Nawabre. That was Lumba and Kempon. But as we said in our promo, not everyone was excited about Lumba. And we saw the videos of Kevin Taylor. We put something together just to show how terrible humanity can be and how we should all refrain from the temptations, whether it's politics or it's green envy or jealousy. We should be very careful what we say about people in public, especially those of us who have microphone. Have a look at this montage.
Look at that Lumba. Oswana bo we get time bin in Ghana. Ajantira nyom since so born you want him that Lumba Ghana. When we say we lead any positive pact. No. Or chairman kwasia for the time we do not be born kwasia jantira nom na enkwara ni di echire or nam hada di Lumba oboso de namoso no ko wuso otwe omo publicity na omo wono omo kind of following, they don't impact the society. This lady is a doctor who practices in America. Now mon say story being in social media, oh, fake female medical doctor on GH1 TV exposed. This lady a health show GH1.
This is Health and Life with Dr. Daly.
Health and Life with Dr. Daly.
This is Health and Life with Dr. Daly. My name is Dr. Ann Sansa Daly.
And when I'm starting who stories be on Modern Ghana. There are two people at Modern Ghana. They'll be served personally and they'll go to jail. He has never stood anywhere in Ghana to say or practice medicine and now or a medical doctor or Ghana on KBDA. But she has a license in the US. And yeah, Assassin Radio so pick a story, no. Selective media houses affiliated to some group of people. Fake doctor exposed. And Sansa Daly not licensed to practice medicine in Ghana or US. So you go and check Assassin Radio. Who did the story? The person who did the story today, the lady's lawyer is trying to track him because he is going to be served.
Answer. Okay. Is it any word for Ghanaians?
That's good. Yes, let's go.
It's not unfortunate that the Lumba will have to receive insults by the fraudster, the impersonator, and Sansa Daly, gets plaudits from people who have a microphone. I think we are all learning our lessons then. This is from Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. He says, "It is with regret I received the sad news of the passing of my dear friend and renowned music icon Charles Kojo Fosu. Daddy Lumba, as we affectionately called him, was a pantheon among musical greats of all time and had a special connection with his fans and the entire nation. His hit-making song will remain lasting contributions to my presidential journey and will forever be etched in the annals of political campaign of the new patriotic party. He will be sorely missed. May he peacefully rest in the bosom of Almighty until the last day of the resurrection when we shall meet again." This one is from President John Dramani Mahama. He says that I have learnt with deep sorrow the passing of Ghanaian music legend Charles Kojo Fosu, affectionately known as Daddy Lumba. Lumba's unmatched musical genius provided the soundtrack of our lives, carrying us through various phases of life. The beats to his memorable songs may have died down, but his enduring legacy will echo through the ages. On behalf of the government of Ghana, I extend heartfelt condolences to his family and loved ones for this irreplaceable loss. That's John Dramani Mahama, President of Ghana, and Daddy Lumba. Here's a photograph of Daddy Lumba with one of his kids visiting Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. I believe this was before Akufo-Addo became president, when Daddy Lumba did a hit song, "Na na na na, oh yeah, we na 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 dear, he's born to succeed." Oh. And this is Daddy Lumba on, this is very recent, on July 1, when President Mahama hosted the elders to a luncheon at the Jubilee House. Daddy Lumba and President John Dramani Mahama. This is the Daddy Lumba that they can say all sorts of things about him because of politics. Anyway, all right, now let's get into the legal conversation where Kweku Ansansare, the former director, I call him the eternal director of the Ghana School of Law, will explain a few things to us. Before then, though, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, yesterday took the platform of the Government Accountability Series and organized a press conference. In this press conference, Dr. Ayeni explained the much talked about nolle prosequi that he entered for the Unibank case. And also, he gave an update on the other things that are happening. But soon after Dr. Ayeni spoke at the press conference, researcher and intellectual giant of Imani, Bright Simmons, had an answer. Well, he had a rebuttal to some of the things Dr. Ayeni said. We'll look at it, and then during the text message, you can tell us what you think. Also, former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Damne has a fiery response to Dominic Ayeni. Godfrey Yeboah-Damne's article, which you may have seen, has been shared on all the media, will be read here in 1 minute so that we can get a grasp of it. Good evening to both gentlemen. Why do I have Oliver Vomaho here? Okay. Oliver is here because Dr. Ayeni made the point that the oral, he said oral is still very much on the beat. That's what he said. Oral is still very much on the beat. But he also made the point that the bad press that people are seeking to give to oral is being generated by the NPP, who are saying that oral didn't go anywhere, And we found out from the just a little cursory appreciation of what's happening on social media that it's actually Oliver Vermaho. He's been the loudest voice in threatening oral that it looks like they're not doing their work. Every time there's something, Oliver will post and say oral is not doing his work. So we wanted to bring that to the attention of the Attorney General, that one of the people who has been critical of the outcomes of the oral investigations and looking for quick implementation of the events that oral uncovered is actually Oliver Vermaho, not the NPP people. It's Oliver. If you look at Oliver's Facebook page, you can go there now and have a look at it. You'll see that all over. So let's see what Bright Simmons said. Now, Dr. Ayeni said last week in a press statement explaining that in the nolle prosequi, in the case of Unibank had committed about 60% of whatever the government was looking for from them. And on that account, he felt that sufficient recovery had been done, and so it is part of the reasoning that underpinned his decision to give a nolle prosequi in the case of Unibank. Many people were concerned about if it's 60, where is the 40, During his press conference, Dr. Ayeni explained that the prosecution was going in a certain direction. The case is going in a certain direction that will end either in blue or in red. That as Attorney General, he's prosecuting the case, but he doesn't know where it's going to end. And so if he gets 60%, he will take it, rather than go all the way to the end and get nothing. Dr. Ayeni used the case of Beige Capital, which had also just been announced. Beige Capital's case had just been announced, where the accused persons in Beige Capital had secured a Court of Appeal cancellation of the High Court's decision that Beige Capital had a case to answer. As you may know, in criminal trial, the prosecution will finish their case, and usually defense can say that the prosecution has not made a case to answer, and then that's an application they'll make before the court, and the judge will make a determination as to whether they have a case to answer or not. In the particular case of Beige, the judge made a determination that they do have a case to answer, so they should go ahead and open their defense. But that's an application that one can always appeal against. You remember the Atuforsen case. So the Beige people appealed against it. The Court of Appeal took the view that the High Court was wrong, that indeed the prosecution had not submitted sufficient material for the defense to answer, and so Beige walks free. For those of us who are his friends, we say we thank God. For those who are not his friends, they say something else. But the critical issue about this matter is that the former Attorney General raised some points in his document about that. Let's go straight to the touchscreen and understand why Bright Simmons thinks that Unibank have not paid 60% to the government or to the public chest or to the public exchequer. They have actually paid 10%. This is what Bright Simmons says. Let's hear it. He says, here is a digestible summary of, Bright Simmons, all right. On 22nd July 2025, the Attorney General of Ghana announced a settlement with the owners of the defunct Unibank, effectively ending both criminal prosecutions and civil recovery efforts against them. Attorney General did not quite say that the civil is ended. He said that the 40% will be recovered through the civil process. I think that's part of the Attorney General statement that we must add here. Okay. It goes on. This move stirred skepticism, not only because the owners include a former finance minister from the Attorney General's own party, but also because it seemed to relinquish the government's leverage in recovering funds. The settlement terms were presented as a triumph. The Attorney General suggested that 60% of Unibank's liabilities would be recovered, but Bright Simmons contests this figure, asserting that the actual recovery is a mere 10.6%, or 160 million of what may well exceed 1.5 billion in losses. He considers the financial logic of the deal deeply flawed. Bright Simmons praises the Attorney General's transparency, but criticizes the substance of his financial analysis. The real death of the hole left by Unibank's collapse is larger than what the AG revised the figures to show. For context, Unibank had grown rapidly but was later revealed to have serious asset impairment. By 2018, the bank had liabilities of nearly 9.2 billion, according to KPMG. Meanwhile, its owners admitted in 2018 to direct liabilities of 4.9 billion, a figure now mysteriously revised downwards to 3.3 billion in the settlement. Further, Simmons points out that many loans made by Unibank to its own affiliate companies and other borrowers were never repaid, resulting in unrecoverable losses. Over 1.8 billion remains unaccounted for, according to Bright Simmons. Despite the Attorney General's claim of 800 million in property forfeitures and 1.2 billion in debtor recoveries, those amounts fall far short of even the liabilities Unibank's owners themselves previously admitted to. Perhaps most critically, the Bank of Ghana and the receiver, both key institutions in this affair, have remained silent. Simmons argues that their views are essential to understand the real impact of the deal. He concludes that this AG press conference should spark a national conversation about accountability in Ghana's financial sector. Instead, it risks being the end of scrutiny. His final challenge is stark. Is Ghana serious about financial justice, or does it operate under the catanomics where the rich and powerful escape through reckoning? Okay, so that's just the other side of what the Attorney General said yesterday. Let's now look at the very fiery response from Godfrey Yeboah-Dami, who is the former Attorney General, who is challenging. So the Attorney General said, for instance, in defending the position that the government and the Attorney General's office are actually doing their work very well, and because there's quite a bit of pressure on them that you are not prosecuting, you are not arresting, people are not in jail. You said Oral will recover 3-point-something. What did Oral was going to recover? 39 billion or something like that. Oral has recovered 1 CD, no CD, 0 CDs. What is happening? Now, in his remarks, the Attorney General indicated that they were doing a very difficult job, and it was very hard, and they have all hands on deck on the job. Then he juxtaposed what they were doing to other prosecutions and trials that had occurred in the past. He said, for instance, that in the Atuforsen trial, it took a whole 6 months, half a year, for Godfrey Diabo-Adame, the then Attorney General, and his team to actually file witness statements. That's a very long time, half a year to file witness statements. The Attorney General proceeded to say that in the calendar of what he's doing right now, they have filed witness statements in a far, far, far shorter period than Godfrey Diabo-Adame did. And therefore, if people are criticizing them that they have been slow in prosecuting, they should remember that before it was much, much slower. You know that in the politics of Ghana, there's always equalization. When you accuse NPP of something, they say, oh, NDC is worse. You accuse NDC of something, they say NPP is worse. Politicians never answer the question you're asking them. They will rather tell you that their opponents are worse. That's been part of Ghana's political campaigning since about 2012. It didn't used to be before, but now it has become, because both political parties have had a go at government. So if you criticize NDC on something they do, they tell you NPP was worse. You criticize NPP on something they do, they say NDC was worse. So it didn't surprise the media yesterday that Dr. Dominic Ayine, in addressing the issues about the allegations that they were being slow, etc., etc., he quickly pointed to NPP and said NPP was worse. You think we are being slow? We're doing this in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We have filed witness statements. They were filing witness statements. It took them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, half a year before they filed witness statements. That statement made by Dominic Ayine quickly resurrected Godfrey Dame from his quiet law firm and decided to pen down a whole lot of issues relating to the Attorney General's press conference. And this is what Godfrey Dame said. Let's have it on the screen and then we'll read it. He titles it, "The penchant of the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, to peddle untruths in his press conference is becoming quite alarming." And these are the things he said. He said on 28 July 2025, the Attorney General stated with some boldness that it took the Attorney General 6 months to file witness statements in the Republic versus Atuforsen and 2 others. This, Godfrey Dame says, is palpably false, just like many other statements by him, referring to the Attorney General, Dr. Ayine. He goes on, the accused persons in the Republic versus Atuforsen and two others case were arraigned before the court for the first time on 18 January 2022. The court, he says, on that day gave directions for filing of disclosures after the grant of bail to all the accused and adjourned proceedings to 15 February 2022. The prosecution complied with the order of the court and filed all documents to rely on, including all intended exhibits, documents required by the defense, and all witness statements of the witnesses to be called by the Republic on the 14th of February 2022. Within 27 days, less than 1 month, and not 6 months as widely claimed by the Attorney General. This is a very serious matter. Of course, 14th February should remind everyone, those of you who are young and you like love things, 14th February is Valentine's Day, isn't it? But this is very serious. I mean, this is a public office that we are dealing with. This is matters of record that we are dealing with. One of them must be lying. And the one who is lying, or the one who is speaking untruth, is speaking a blatant untruth. How can 2 attorney generals operating the same office under separate regimes, one is one's predecessor, one attorney general says, it took you 6 months to file the witness statement. Another one says, what are you talking about? It's 27 days. The people who filed the witness statements, the staff of the attorney general, are the same. Mind you, we operate the British civil service system of permanence, neutrality, and there's a third one I've forgotten. They are permanence, they are neutral, and they are non-partisan. Non-partisan, permanent, and neutral. Those are the 3 epitaphs that the civil service works with. So the people who filed the witness statements in the Atuforsen case, they are the same people in Dominic Ayine's office today. The Director of Public Prosecutions hasn't changed. Deputy Director hasn't changed. Chief State Attorneys haven't changed. Maybe they've added some, but they have not changed. Maybe they are not playing the same role, but they are still in the office. How come then that the information going to one Attorney General says they took 6 months to file, and the Attorney General who filed says that, no, I filed it in 27 days. What is happening to our public service? Imani, are you there? Those of you who talk about public sector reform, what is happening here? Anyway, let's move on. Godfrey Dame says further, for the sake of banishing falsehood and exposing the ways of the wicked, he says, I'm not sure the word wicked should be used. We take it out. That's Godfrey Dame's word. We don't call anyone wicked. Exposing the ways of other people, will say, I hereby exhibit a copy of the record of proceedings for 18 January 2022 and the process titled Document to be relied on filed by the Attorney General on 14 February 2022. The inescapable reality. So Godfrey Dame says that he's providing the evidence for it. He says he's providing the evidence for it. So I'm sure that the fact-checking people, Fourth Estate, Suleiman Brahima, how are you? Good evening. There's something to fact-check for us. We beg you. Can you please fact-check this and let us know what's happening? Because this is very serious. How can the Attorney General said it took them 6 months to file? And then the other said, oh, no, what's he talking about? 27 days we filed it. The record is the record. What is going on? Anyway, he goes on to say that the inescapable reality of Dominic Aini's latest and ex post facto rationalization, laden with contradictions and inconsistencies as they are, is that he sought to free his former clients from the clutches of criminal prosecution through the exercise of the power of nolle prosequi. That is the first disclosure he should have made to the public at his press conference. Ghanaians deserve this basic courtesy. 4. Dominic Aini Dr. Aini ought not mislead the public into thinking that through some unprecedented genius, he has recovered assets or money for the state. All the assets of the Dufours, Unibank, and related companies, as well as the other persons being prosecuted with them, had already been identified by the receivers of Unibank appointed by the Bank of Ghana. The receiver already had the full list and profile of assets owned by them. Dr. Aini should indicate to the public when either himself or his team this year discovered any new assets owned by the Dufours. The record will reflect the fact that to date, Dr. Aini has not recovered a single cedi in the Unibank matter. What he proposes to do, and for which he has already entered nolle prosequi, is to, in future, use some of the assets already identified by the receiver to defray what he has unilaterally determined to be owed by the accused persons. Instructively, this arrangement is not pursued under any law. It is only pursuant to the exercise of Dr. Aini's power of nolle prosequi. Dr. Aini thus cannot lay claim to recovering any more assets than what the receiver had already recovered. He also cannot claim to have recovered for the Republic any more money from the accused persons this year. Questions arising include, was any agreement executed with the Republic before the entry of the nolle prosequi, and if so, when? Where is that agreement? Has any fair and objective valuation of the properties been done, and if so, when? Where is the valuation? I like the part. So he's raising questions about, he thinks Dr. Aini should have said more. He admits that Dr. Aini did not need to say anything to anyone based on the application of nolle prosequi. When the Attorney General applies nolle prosequi as the Attorney General's privilege and discretion, he doesn't have to explain to people. That's recognized by Godfrey Dame. But if you want to explain to people, then you need to explain correctly, properly, and comprehensively, as it were. So his concern is that there are a few more questions left for Dr. Aini to tell the general public in terms of how the Unibank thing was done and how the nolle prosequi was issued. But he goes on to talk about Atuesian, which is what I'm very interested in. It's in paragraph 5. He says, in the Republic versus Atuesian, a case arising out of the collapse of Capital Bank, the amount admitted as owed by Atuesian himself was 27 million. The state, in an arrangement entered into under Section 35 of the Courts Act 1993, Act 459, settled on 90 million to be paid by the accused person. The accused person paid 30 million in cash before the settlement was adopted by the court, with the rest to be paid over a period of 1 year. I dare say that on account of the resetting of prosecution we are witnessing, there is no justification for Atuesian to be in jail, having paid so much. I'm sure he means free Atuesian now. And then he goes on to say, under what circumstance that Dr. Aini claimed that the counsel for the accused in the Beige Bank case offered him 10 million. I assert that there is no record of this. I challenge Dr. Aini to produce receipt of such a proposal and his official response. Was it a proposal to Aini in his private capacity, etc., etc.? Okay. The state lost the Beige Capital case under Dr. Aini's watch on an appeal against a ruling on submission of no case filed by the accused person. Alarmingly, instead of exploring means of challenging the correctness of the decision of the Court of Appeal at the Supreme Court, Dr. Aini seems very satisfied, he says, with the development and has already made comments suggestive of a disinclination to appeal. So the battle lines are drawn. I'm sure media will continue to chew on this, and each of the persons who have written about this will be called to explain what they meant at the time they wrote the document. So that's Dr. Ayini. He also spoke about Kwabena Dubois. He will take a bit of that on Thursday because he talked about the time he went to the Signals Bureau, the time he became a boss, properties acquired, and all of that. All that was part of the press conference. But especially in the press conference, Dr. Ayini also announced that there will be no exam to there will be no the Makola Law School situation is dramatically changing. I will now call on Kweku Apreku to join me whilst Dr. Kweku Ansansari is made ready to give us his detailed explanation. Kweku Ansansari knows this more than many people because for many years he was a teacher at the law school, and then he became the director of legal education when I was there back in the day for many years. So he is one who really understands this process. We're going to take about 10 minutes of his time to get an understanding. But Apreku will join me, and then we can go through the process of what is the situation right now and what situation will the new ally that the Attorney General talked about bring into the context. Apreku joins me on the touch screen. Good evening, lawyer.
Good evening, Mr. Paul.
So back in the day at Legon, what are we going to have here?
Yeah, we can just have the playing page.
Okay.
Good evening, Ghana.
Right. So you can tell them.
Page, so it could go off.
Back in the day,
yes,
Legon was the only institution that was training lawyers from the 1960s up until 2001. And it was an undergraduate program. So people will go to Legon and study undergraduate for 3 years. After sixth form, you go to Legon, you're offered law, and you have to do very well at the exam at the A level to get to study law. So you take it for 3 years. The law students are divided into two groups. One group is doing the LLB, another group is doing the BA. After that, you automatically go to law school for 2 years, and then you're called to the bar. Then subsequently, Legon introduced in 2001 postgraduates and stopped the undergraduates. Legon were thinking, I think at that time, some of the Legon professors had been trained in America. Henrietta Mensah Bonsu had gone to America. She went to Yale. Donna Hammond had gone to Michigan.
Yes.
Professor Kwenye had been doing a lot with American people. So the Americanization of the law school then got into this, let's stop the undergrad and make law just a postgrad. So that's when some of us got the opportunity to go in after our undergrad. At that time, you study LLB for 2 years instead of 3. And then you go to Makola for another 2 years. And entry to Makola was automatic. There was no entrance exam. Later on, sometime around the time we were there, I believe 2003, people like Kweku Ansansari mooted the idea of having another law LLB training institution at KNUST. Asante Hene was excited by that. Moves happened. Ekuya Kwenyehan was the dean, and Professor Oforia Mankwa and Kofi Abochi were seconded to KNUST to begin the process of training lawyers for the LLB. But then they needed to come to Makola from Kumasi for the professional training. So that was the state of affairs until there was concern by some lawyers who wanted their kids to study law. They didn't want them to study undergrad before they come and study law. And I know some of them, so I can't mention their names. But they pushed that you should reopen the Legon undergrad. So that happened. I believe that's when you got in, a few years after you got in. So when you guys got in, you studied law for 4 years, is that correct?
Yes, so we studied the LLB, which is the degree for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so you come straight from senior high school. I think this page is fine.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
You come straight from senior high school to the university. You have your course for 4 years. When you are done, you write the entrance. After your graduation, you receive the degree, and then you write your entrance exam to the Ghana School of Law, what we popularly call Makola.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that instance, if you pass, you go to the Makola and you do 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
In your first year, you do 6 courses, and in your second year, you do 4 courses. In the first year of 6 courses, you do courses like civil procedure, criminal procedure, the law of evidence, company and commercial practice, law practice management, and legal accounting.
Yeah, so you study at Makola.
So you study at Makola, you finish, and then you are called to the bar, which is where you can wear the wig and gown.
Okay.
So that's the system we had. You have to cross certain hurdles, but it seems that is what has been subject to a lot of criticism, because people are of the view that everybody who begins the training should also have the opportunity to complete it by going to by undertaking the professional training at the law school and subsequently being called to the bar as a lawyer.
So right now, what is this LI that the Attorney General? We heard about it. People have been talking about it. And I was speaking to Ansansari. He said Justice VCRC Crab had proposed something that he would tell us. What is this LI seeking to do? What's your understanding of what the LI is doing?
So they want to amend the also the Legal Professions Acts, because there are certain provisions in there that also deal with education. So it's that, and then also the LI regarding education. That's legal professional education. What this seems to do is that now we are going to have 5 years of legal education. We're going to have 4 years of legal education. 3 years
for undergrad or postgrad?
Undergrad.
Okay.
Coming to school. As for postgrad, we are yet to see the specific terms, but per the press conference, we even prepared the video, but I think because of time we couldn't play it.
Okay, so at the press conference, he addressed undergrad.
He did not specifically mention, he just said legal education. So it's subject to more questions and more review.
Okay.
Of the specific terms. So now what we do is, what will happen is that you go to school, and then when you go to school, that's Legon is now going to have the authority and the mandate to offer both the professional law training, which we know as professional, and then the LLB. So you do your LLB for 3 years, and then your 1 year you do the professional training.
So law school is cut to 1 year, not 2 years. It's cut to 1 year.
Not 2 years. And then after you take what we call the National Bar Exam. So it's one bar exam everybody that has undergone training everywhere is going to take in order to qualify to be enrolled to the bar. But he mentioned something.
The Attorney General?
Yes, CLE. And then so it's also, there's a distinction I think we'd also have to further investigate, because they may want to sort of diversify the streams and make the training for those who want to go to the court as barristers maybe different from those who would want to.
Or the solicitors?
Solicitors.
Or they may be thinking about introducing that.
Yes, because he mentioned you would either do the CLE or you would do something else. But it's all subject to more exposition. We are yet to find out those specific
So that those who are already barristers can converse to solicitors as well? Or
no, I mean, if in the current regime...
You are both a barrister and a solicitor.
More or less. So you do everything. You do civil criminal procedure. Once you are called to the bar, you decide if you want to go and be in-house counsel in a company. You decide if you just want to do transactions. You decide if you want to go to courts and do hardcore litigation. So it's a matter of choice and not necessarily education. Unlike what happens in the United Kingdom, where you can take the SQ with the solicitor's qualification exams, or there's also specific training to be a barrister and address the courts as a lawyer. You know what we call litigation, my lord, my lord. That so there may be an indication that that is what they may be intending to do, but it's still subject to.
Let me go to Kweku Ansansari, who has a lot more to say about this. I'll come back to you in a minute. Dr. Kweku Ansansari. I was talking about something that you taught us.
I was enjoying the conversation.
Yes, we'll continue with you. Something that you taught us, back in the day. Apriko, hold on. If you want to chip in, you can ask a question. Yes. So just hold on. We're talking about the prerogative rates on the car park at law school, as we usually would do. We'll come to you and you were leaving, and then we stopped you and we were conversing. And we talk about coherence. And they said, no. And then one of my friends asked, which one, director, as we used to call you? And then you said, quittiment injunction. And we said, what is that?
Quittiment.
And we said, what is that? And you were laughing at us. And you said, that one is not used these days, but it means wherefore I fear.
Yeah.
And we said, wow, it has never departed from us. So that became your nickname amongst us. So when we went to the equipment, is equipment upstairs there? There's equipment there, equipment there. That was very, very good. And we used to tell people that, you can look at Ansansari as a teacher, but his technical law is very good. And I've been telling people, since you started talking on radio, I didn't like some of the things you were saying because you were criticizing Akufo-Addo too much, so I didn't call you. So, but I told all the people that if you Ansansari in his technical law, don't go there. His technical law is very, very, very good. Anyway, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Is this good news or bad news? This Attorney General?
It's good news.
Why is it good?
Good news. Good news in the sense that the world is changing, you see, and we need also to, move with changing times. The point he was making, the difference between the American module and the English module lies in the fact that the American system is practice focused, whereas the English module is theory, it's highly academic, in orientation. And therefore, if you take an American law student, a JD student, and a British LLB student, the American JD student will be about 25 years far ahead of his English counterpart. And that is, the bane of our professional legal training in this country. In the 70s and 80s, the Akila Akpa Sawyers, the database, they tried to introduce the Socratic method, into teaching in Ghana. The Socratic method, had been with the Americans since Harvard was established. It was only introduced into English legal education in the 1950s. So you can see it's about 80 to 90 years, apart, and that has, been with us, and so that is what we inherited. So today, if we are thinking of reforms or legal education, then we need to move, with a system that has historically, been acquainted or familiar with a pedagogy that produces a law graduate, who have very little to do with immersion before, turning himself or herself into, a professional lawyer. Our approach here doesn't produce skilled, lawyers. So you learn the nuances of legal practice, in chambers, in the courtroom, if you want to do advocacy. Else, what he called the hardcore litigation is lost on you, as a law student, right from year one, the LLB, stage. So I think that if Dr. Ayeni can find the political will, in quotes, as it were, to bring this thing into fruition, it will be good for the nation.
So what is it going to change? So right now, a candidate studies an LLB at Mount Crest, your school, Legon, Gimpa, which other one? Kumasi, Tech, Cape Coast, I think. Cape Coast.
We have about 40.
40.
About 40.
LLB training institutions.
Yes.
40.
Yes.
Wow.
Or more.
And they all find lecturers?
That is the question. To be or not to be. So to find or not to find lecturers.
But do they find, if they're not finding lecturers, then they're not giving good training to our lawyers?
No, the truth of the matter is that, you see, with legal education, the academic phase of legal education thrives solely on academicians.
Mm-hmm.
You see, while the professional training always around, practitioners. We have more than enough legal practitioners in Ghana to be able to administer a professional law course. For me, the happy element about the proposal that Ayine mentioned yesterday, the fact that we can use that to bring out the gems that we have. We have very good legal practitioners.
But the LLB comes first.
Yeah, but the
so
LLB,
if you don't have the academics,
the LLB is just the first phase of legal
but
training.
it's an important phase.
Yeah, it is important, but people like VCRAC crap, Olenu, the Sabe, they didn't do academic, LLB.
You mean like Justice Redu?
No, Redu went to Oxford, so.
Yeah, but he didn't study law at Oxford. He did the London thing.
Yeah, but you see, he pursued, in those days, the arts, the humanities.
Yes.
But people like VCRAC crab, people like Azu crab, people like Ole.
So what did they study if they didn't study the LLB?
They did the professional.
In England?
Yes, in support.
After a graduate training?
Yes.
Very similar
No graduate training.
After secondary school?
After secondary school.
You can do the professional in England?
In those days, yes.
In those days? Not
days.
anymore today?
No. Times have changed, as I said.
So you think the emphasis is more on the professional than the LLB?
The LLB.
Really?
The emphasis should be on, the professional. If you want to be a lawyer, you see...
Then your LLB is not good. You really can't do
the
much.
LLB, for now, our time, because if you read Shakespeare, the sergeants at law, they started as lawyers. They were not lawyers. They hadn't received any academic or professional legal education. They had to study under the feet, of certain, people,
So you believe the apprenticeship is more important than the theory?
Sure.
When you were director of legal education, you used to say that you would wish that all the judges would teach. And in your time, you brought a lot of judges,
yes.
and I think it's still going on in the law school. A lot of judges were teaching.
Yes.
So Justice Afre taught us the criminal former
procedure.
DPP.
Sambadu
was teaching us criminal procedure. Safo Sampon, the DPP was teaching over there. And some seasoned practitioners like Samu Kujetu and others.
But the
Bimbombutas of this world still felt that the theory was quite important.
Yeah, because if you look at the background of Dr. Bimbombuta, he was a writer.
Yes. A prolific one at that.
Yes. And he believed that the making of a lawyer, had to start, with a deep commitment, to the letters. But I felt that if you want to be a lawyer, you must be given the nuances of, advocacy, the skills. So, I would advocate, for instance, that the very first year of your training, the law school, you have to be introduced to subjects like law firm administration, legal accountancy, client interviewing, solicitor, client relationship and all that. So by the time, you'll be called to the bar, you can handle a fairly, decent brief, and like doctors, so when they are doing their housemanship, they are able, to prescribe, medication and all that. But I mean, you at the law school, when you finish,
you don't know much.
No.
You need to now go back to the chambers and learn if you want to learn that way. Yeah. Okay, so what's going to happen to the law school entrance exam, which has become very controversial? Scrapped if this LI goes through?
Sure.
Scrapped.
And I'm in full support.
So when one finishes LLB at Legon, what does he do?
So what I suspect is going to happen, is likely to happen, is that you find a faculty or any institution that can impart, knowledge to prepare you to go and write
the exam.
And
it's a single exam
exams.
With a date.
I don't know the structure yet.
One exam for everyone.
I don't think it will be one exam. If it's a professional exam, we must have the coursework, and then the practicals.
Oh, there has to be some coursework and some practicals.
Sure.
All infused in the exam.
Sure.
So a written exam, coursework, and practicals to put together to determine whether you can be called to the bar.
And then, interspersed with clinical legal education, for instance.
It seems to me that there's a bit more that the Attorney General and his people should be putting together. The announcement is good, but it looks like there's a lot more.
I think that they need to engage stakeholders, to process, various thoughts, and then come up with, something that will be uniquely, suited to Ghana's way, of doing. For some time now, I felt that the time has come for our lawyers to be able to, make their submissions in a language that they understand.
Like tree?
Like tree, like
in
court? Like, yes.
Okay.
Why not? We want to, widen access to, justice.
So public tribunal?
Wherever.
Okay.
Wherever. But, language, the linguistic,
but the law practice is also increasingly becoming international, where borders are removing. So people sit in Ghana and they are speaking to British solicitors. Attorney General is hiring British solicitors. They're hiring American solicitors to defend the cause of Ghana here and there. So the practice is becoming very international. Is that the time you want to bring in tree?
Yeah, man. That's the more reason why we should even introduce our own language. People, some American universities and UK universities are offering tree. They are
train people to speak tree, yes.
We are not. We are rather, facing out, our own. So, there will be a time that we will have, no culture. If you go to Korea, go there and see if you can find a book, written in English. It's in their
for beginners. For beginners, they do their language.
But we, try to, relegate our local to the background and, enhance English, French,
Spanish,
either of which we don't speak well anyway. You see, so if we are able to develop a curriculum, right from the basic using mother tongue. So if I'm a Guan, there's no reason why I should not be able to practice in Guan. If I'm an Akan, say Ashanti or Nzima
but
or
Ashanti has courts. Otufo has courts where tree is a permitted lingua. In the Ashanti in his court.
Yes.
In the Ochin in his court.
Yes.
In Mampong in his court.
Yes.
That happens.
Yes.
Yeah. The National House of Chiefs.
Yes.
They are part of the court system.
Sure.
So
because
that's
the administrators
happening.
there, are at the level of the reasonable man. So the average lawyer or judge in a traditional system is like an average man, and therefore must be able to speak their mother tongue. You see,
I'm sure we have to build on this conversation. Do you have something else to say before?
Yeah, regarding that, I was thinking that maybe the reason for the difficulty is because we do not have many tree or local equivalents of certain imported terms. For instance, injunction.
Or the equipment injunction.
Or how do you say it in fact?
Okay, we'll continue this conversation. But you are still a member of the NPP, aren't you?
Yes, sure.
Cabinet Japan has launched his campaign today.
Today?
Yeah, he did. And he's here in the studio.
We're conversing.
Yeah, he's here. Are you going to support his campaign?
I dropped him a line.
You dropped him a line?
Yes.
In your private conversation?
Okay. Yes, because I felt that he was one of the few NPP, quote and unquote people. I mean, we started with him. I've known him. I know his work. I know what he's done, for the party, and it's a shame that your good friend Anado, killed the NPP.
Nanado didn't kill anything. I'm so sorry, Nanado. Nanado didn't kill anything. I have to come and sit with you and let's sip coffee over Nanado. You are still in Kanda?
Yes.
I'll come there.
Kill the NPP.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he did.
I remember back in 2007, he used to argue with me that Osafo Mafu would be a better candidate for the 17. I told you that no, he's not going to win. And he said it's not a matter of he winning, but he has to be a good candidate.
I knew Osafo Mafu wouldn't win, but I told you that if he had won,
he would have been better.
Both Nana and Osafo Mafu are very, erudite, political speakers. They have the gift, they have the talent. But the difference between the two of them is that one is a manager, the other is not.
Akufo-Addo apologists like me will not accept.
Nanado is not.
Well,
no.
We'll talk about this another day.
Yeah, another time.
I get the promo for me ready. Let's get to text message. As Kwame Japan joins us in the studio. We have to read the NPP's guidelines that was just released this evening as we talk to Kwame Japan. Yes. I'll come and see. Okay. So please, let's take text messages. Antoinette is here. And okay, Antoinette first.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much, Paul. So a few people have run in some comments. One thing Okanse says, I fully support this idea of using our local languages in our schools, but I do think we should blend them with the English language so as to make it both international and local. Now, Cornelius Opoku-Mensah says to ask him if TT or taxi driver fame is his brother because the resemblance is quite striking. Bolkin says that the UK has moved on from the LPC in legal education to the SQE, just like the ACCA does. So what the AG is proposing is actually a very good idea. He says it is time to open up the frontiers of legal education in Ghana to admit more lawyers into the legal profession to enhance the delivery of our justice system. Yao February says the Ghanaians have to support the minority for threatening a court suit of conflict of interest against the Attorney General for dropping the case against Mr. Kwabena Duffuor and the other 7 on the basis of retrieving 60% of the agreed amount. He says that they are right since the Attorney General was once the defense lawyer for Mr. Kwabena Duffuor and the other 7 people. So there is the possibility of conflict of interest now as the Attorney General and dropping the case just for the 60% retrieval. And lastly, Samuel Ofosuba says, Paul, I am being flabbergasted on why the most respected legal luminary, Honorable Dominic Anyene, allows his academic pedigree to be misused for people's political achievements. He says, is he being sacrificed for making his government's benefits for political achievement? It baffles me a lot to my soul. Former Deputy General Secretary Koku Anyudoho paid hefty for this kindness offered for redeeming his party, which is the NDC fraternity, and within the shortest possible time, he was regarded as a scornful entity and being ostracized over a trivial matter which doesn't opt for such bad decision. I wish the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice would take a cue from this. Honorable, a word to the wise is enough. Lastly, do you have?
Okay, so Nana Owusu says, Paul, the current NDC government has managed to legitimize fake news and propaganda to the extent that it has even gone to affect how we calculate 60%. Wright Simmons has amply proven that to them, that 10.6% is different from 60%. That has become the new standard for looting the 100% of the taxpayers' funds and keeping 40% as a member of the NDC party country called Ghana. Now Yusuf Zati says, good evening, Apostle Paul and the entire team. Till now, the Attorney General is making that portfolio or office difficult for young political science and law students to appreciate the work of the office. The public service personnel in the law house will surely miss Attorney Generals like Godfrey Dami and his likes. Yao February says some of the directors of the collapsed banks are in prison for the abrogation of the agreed restitution for plea bargaining with the state. The Attorney General filed nolle prosequi of the case against Mr. Kwabena Duffuor and the 7 others because of the retrieval of 60% of the misappropriated depositors' savings need to be condemned when others are suffering in prison. Finally, Castiman says, the most hypocrite Attorney General of all time is the one we are seeing today. The sad thing is that the person we thought had consciousness is the very person who has exchanged brains with money and making decisions which are unethical and utterly dangerous to encourage people to engage in corruption, just because if you can steal more to enrich yourself, you are guaranteed of paying only 60% and chop the rest. This Attorney General needs a typical treatment, else politics will destroy him and destroy our legal system. Regards to Dr. Baumia. Now back to you, Paul.
All right, there's a text message here. Someone who is not too happy with this conversation about law says that quality of lawyers we interview is so low. I fear this shortening of legal training. I give up. Apprenticeship is indeed important, but the theory, logic, and good grounding in principles of law are just not there. I'm sad. They keep coming for interviews and they flee after the panel tells them the truth. Well, I hope that that's not the situation. Okay. Congratulations, Comrade Japan. You launched your campaign today.
Thank you.
Okay. So, the NPP's guidelines, can we have a look at it, please? Can we have a look at the NPP guidelines? Also, maybe let's start with Kennedy Japan. Shall I go on the touch screen and do that? Kennedy Japan has said that he is running, which is what you said earlier today. He's formally announced, based on the NPP's opening of nominations, that he's running. Do they have it on the touch screen for me? Is it there? Let me just read that, and then it's part of the guidelines that you have to work with. Okay. So the statement of candidate Japan says that this afternoon I called into my TV station. Fundamentally says that he's running. It's official now. Kennedy Japan is running for the event. Okay. Let's see the guidelines that the NPP has released this afternoon about the Congress and the contest. Okay, it's here. It says that pursuant to Article 13(1)(2) of the Constitution of the New Patriotic Party, notice is hereby given inviting applications from members of the party for nominations as party's presidential candidate to contest for the office of President of the Republic in 2028. Nominations for the positions of party's presidential candidate shall open on Tuesday, 29th July, that's today, and close on Thursday, 28th August. Nomination forms may be obtained from the office of the General Secretary at the party headquarters in Asylum Down. Any member to elect a party's presidential candidate and is signed by Justin Kodria. The only new thing here is development fee. Also, Kwabena Japan, who is our guest here, is a big fan of Lumba. Anyone who's attended parties in Kwabena Japan's house, you know that there was a 24th December party that ran from 2001, I think, all the way to about, when did you stop there? 24th December?
I haven't stopped.
Oh, you haven't stopped?
I had one in 2020.
Okay, I have not been coming. Okay.
You abandoned me.
Not quite. Kwabena Japan has his beautiful 24th December parties in his home at East Legon. But we all, those days he was press secretary. It was more of a media gathering, media reunion and all of that. And his many friends, Kwabena Japan is a social bird. He has a lot of friends. And they will play Lumba continuously from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. And then you know that when the Lumba song starts, the dance floor. Alan Chamati used to attend those parties. I remember that. So Kwabena Japan writes and says that I'm devastated by the passing of my great friend and high life legend, Daddy Lumba. His timeless melodies and powerful lyrics touch the hearts of generations, uniting us in joy and reflection. May the Lord Almighty grant his beautiful soul eternal rest. Photographs of Kwabena Japan and Daddy Lumba. Kwabena is in the studio after Kwabena Japan's interview. He'll join us to talk more about Daddy Lumba. But now, Kalahari has launched his campaign. And your campaign office is quite impressive. Many people have been talking about it on social media.
Oh, really? Yeah?
Yeah, the Asylum Down. The branding looks impressive. So,
well, I mean,
what is in the offing for this Kwabena Japan campaign?
I think it provides an alternative and gives the party an option. I think the party is crying for a new direction, a new dimension. And I do believe it is time to offer that alternative for the party delegates. And that's why I believe that the cry from the grassroots that we should go back to our roots. I mean, when we talk about our noble roots, those virtues, the principles and the values that animated the formation of this party in times of difficulty, those are the values that have waned significantly. That spirit of sacrifice, service, selflessness, dedication, that really made this party an attractive option for most Ghanaians. Today, we are on a trajectory that, in my view, is not sustainable. We have overly monetized our politics. Materialism has gripped the country as a whole. Of course, this is a new era. I mean, in our time, there was no social media. But generally, I think it is time for us as Ghanaians, led by we the politicians, to recalibrate our values, our understanding of governance, public service, why we are here, is exactly what it means, service to the public. It's not about service to self. So to be able to energize the base of the country, let the youth feel a sense of hope. So for me, it is a redemption mission to salvage our party and our country. It's quite clear from the results of the last election that a lot of our own people decided to abandon us in large numbers. Because Nana got 6.7 million in 2020. In 2024, we were down to 4.6 million. That's a loss of well over 2 million votes on our side. It did not reflect on the other side. That may be the only good thing we can take out of that election. It means if we work hard enough and are able to present a better version of ourselves, a version that connects with the grassroots, that has empathy, respect, discipline, love for one another, all for one, one for all, and reduce the level of individualism that has gripped the party and the country as a whole. So it's not only the NPP, the country is at crossroads. And it is time for us to tell ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, and be honest enough to admit that we are not where we wanted to be right now, both as a party and as a country. And I do believe that my life in politics is a demonstration of what I'm saying. These are not just words. I've served in the very high office of press secretary to the president, was the rank of a cabinet minister. And in those 6 years, I think I worked without blemish. So I believe it is time for us to do a lot of soul searching, sober reflection, to recognize where we have failed as a people and as a party. And I do believe if we listen to the grassroots and we involve them, that belonging, spirit of belonging, participating in what we do as a party, that will energize the base and rejuvenate the base and give ourselves a dog's chance in 2028. Who better to do it than myself? I think I'm perhaps the most viable candidate who for some reason did not have the opportunity to serve in the last administration. So the umbrage that people feel, I think I can communicate well with Ghanaians. I can inspire the younger generation for them to have a sense of fulfillment in working for the larger good of this country. Not for themselves, for the larger good of this country. So I believe that my candidature will restore hope and faith, especially to the many who feel marginalized and sidestepped. There's nothing more difficult than having served this political tradition, especially in those difficult days, and not being given the recognition that you deserve. And that is how come I fronted these proposals that was aimed at bringing all the past officers into the Electoral College and giving them voting rights. A lot of it was accepted. Unfortunately, the one that, in my view, mattered most, which is the polling stations and electoral areas, where the thousands of people work.
Oh, you wanted former polling station executives to be part of it?
To be part of it.
Why didn't they add it? What happened?
Well, the majority at National Council chose not to. And it still hurt me. I thought we would have used the conference to make amendments, but the way the conference was staged, it was difficult to have any serious debate. And again, I was very unhappy with the way the motions were presented.
Why?
We know our Constitution is very clear. When you want to change provisions in our Constitution, you need a 2/3 majority. And it's very difficult, Paul, to be able to determine from a voice vote what 2/3 is.
But there was at least one amendment that failed on the voice vote.
It still does not matter. I think that as we move forward as a political party, we've got to improve the way we do things. This voice vote was used the first time in 2009, and some of us protested. You know, so I was thinking that several years down the line, it would have improved the way we do our things.
So actual ballots?
Well, I had suggested that the reason why the framers of the Constitution said these motions should be sent to the constituencies a month before was to give them an opportunity to deliberate on each of the motions. The motions were never sent. It was the raw proposals, 300 of them, and you know, we all don't like reading. So to send 300 proposals and expect constituency executives and polling stations to read them was asking too much. I would have thought that the 56 motions, rather, that the committee extracted from the various proposals should have been sent a month earlier. We should have asked the constituencies to hold conferences and evaluate one by one and vote on them. There, it would have been easier, constituency by constituency. So by the time we get to Accra for the conference,
we are coming to announce the results.
That's right. So the General Secretary can go through the various motions and be able to tell that 213 voted for, and this number voted against, and this number abstained. It would have been just a report of what happened. I think that is neater. But we learn from these things. And I think going forward, that has to be changed. The use of voice vote is very crude because you know, I mean, Paul, you're a lawyer. Now, when the motion is tabled, you are even supposed to allow for counter motions. They have to be debated. You can't debate in the stadium.
Apparently, they had seen it. When I interviewed Kojo Ponkroma, he said the constituency had seen it. And he was quite impressed that they had read it.
They had seen the 300 proposals. All of us saw the 56 motions on the day of election. Many of us saw it in that booklet on the day of election. But anyway, it's in the past. I think we should learn from these things. There's no point crying over spilled milk. I'm an eternal optimist, and I love my party beyond a certain point. I feel very uncomfortable when I have to criticize the party. But this is one thing that hopefully going forward has to change. And it's easy to change. It's a matter of just making it travel to the constituencies early enough, letting them take a decision. So that it's like what the Americans do when they're having the presidential, they come with the delegates locked, you know, so that we know that out of 47 constituencies in Ashanti, 41 are for and the 6 are against. And you do so around the country, and it's easier, it's neater, it's nicer, you know, but this does not create a good impression because there were some who were complaining that really in certain instances the no's sounded stronger than the yes.
Yes, but that's what I said. There was a particular amendment that was refused.
But why should that be the case?
It means that if the delegates wanted to refuse the amendment, they knew how to do it.
Well, it got to a point, you know, it becomes a tedium. People don't even pay attention. I was there, and so I know what I'm talking about.
So what's the plan for this campaign? You have 5 to 6 months to...
Yeah, I'm more worried about getting to the people, talking to them, using the mass media, spreading the message, getting them to understand that as patriots of our party, we've got to go back to our roots, which is that sense of voluntarism, that sense of dedication, that sense of doing something for your party and for your country, which appears to have waned significantly.
Across the country?
That's right.
Maybe over the world?
It does not matter. But when I say, Paul, I think it's important as we all grow and mature. We, our generation, are a blessed generation. We are the generation that have seen the transformation of the world. What we are seeing, our fathers never had the opportunity. And what we experience, our kids will never have. So we have straddled the technological advancement and also the change in our values and our virtues as a people. So from being very modest as Ghanaians, now we've become very showy, you know that, because of social media.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Even when people are having a meal, they want to take a picture of it and show it, which is very un-Ghanaian. And it has affected, it has pushed the culture of greed in our politics and our national life. So instead of people feeling for the collective, having a collegial mentality, is all about self. And I think we, the political leaders, we have to do our best to change that. By leading, by example, doing the right things, and denouncing corruption and things that are not good. And some of the things we are hearing of late doesn't give you a lot of comfort, you understand. So I think we are at a stage in our lives as a country that all of us have to work towards the creation of a new politician and a new Ghanaian. A Ghanaian that feels a sense of empathy for the neighbor and that feels a sense of patriotism for the country. And whatever action that you take, begin to question yourselves whether it is in the larger interest of our country. We cannot continue this way, on this trajectory, and expect to become...
So this is like a revolutionary campaign. You want to bring things back.
It's not a revolutionary. I just want us to do things
track.
right.
Yeah.
I want to be an advocate for what is right, whether it's by my party or the government or whatever. And everybody has a conscience. That's why I say I speak against things like using a voice vote. I mean, this is a common sense approach. You cannot determine 2/3 from a voice vote. So we shouldn't be doing such things. Let's all work towards doing what is right for our country. At the end of the day, I've gone through the political cycle. We were in opposition in the 90s. I was in government as press secretary to President Kufuor in the 2000s, back in opposition, and our party has been in government and back again. That should tell you, both the NDC and the NPP have experienced being in power and out of power. It tells you that politics and positions are transient. It is what you do and the impact you make on the lives of Ghanaians that matter, not how much money you make. You know, so this monetization of our country should stop. It is. And all of us politicians, and there was an attempt by some to try and make it difficult for people who don't have that much resources to even become presidential candidates, where strange figures were being bandied about. But in the end, good sense prevailed, and now we have what, 600,000, still a lot of money.
Oh, you mean it could have been more, based on the initial discussions?
You didn't hear that?
No.
Paul, you have a lot of
that they were asking for 10 million?
I trust.
I had some 5 million.
So tell me what you had.
I had 5 million.
I know, you know, some were even clamoring for more, and I had to stand up and caution that we have the Ghanaians out there. What impression do we want to send to them? Politics is not for sale. The party is not for sale. The country is not for sale. And we should not discourage good people
But if
from
you
getting
can,
into
if you can
politics.
cough up 600,000 or
It's
1
not a
million
matter of coughing it up.
to go to
What
276 constituencies.
What is important is politics is about principle. It's about doing what is right and satisfying the needs of our people. That's what matters. And when people believe in what you stand for and they believe in your political philosophy, they support you. I'm getting a lot of support. You talked about my headquarters. Paul, you know that it's been a struggle for me for the last 10 years. I was virtually ostracized from politics. But they are good Ghanaians who believe in the principles that I'm prepared to die for and who are supporting me. So I need your support as well. Whether you can donate 5,000 or 10,000 to my campaign, I'll be very, very happy.
Cedis?
Yes. I mean, dollars are not legal tender in Ghana, so I don't operate in dollars. You know, so all I want to talk to the electorate, that the power resides in their bosom. They have a fantastic and glorious opportunity to get it right, to take a decision that will decide the future of this political party. And the choice is very clear. Either we want more of the same or we want a stark departure from the status quo that we have been used to for the last several years. So I think that Ghanaians are watching, and I hope this becomes a very clean campaign. And we present, as I said, a good version of ourselves. The noise should come down, and I hope that you'll be able to entice us to a debate so that we can really have
to put on the table what people want. Some questions are coming in. Let me know whether you have questions for Kabineta, but this is an important one. Somebody says, hi, Paul. Thank you very much for the interview. As blatant disregard for NPP members following the party's refusal to release the Mike Okwe committee report, does Engineer Kwabena Japan believe in the school of thought that if we fail to open up a sore and press it properly, it will not heal? What do you have to say to that?
Well, what I have to say to that is there are things that you can bring out. I mean, it's like preparing a strategic document for this media house. It's not everything that you like to publish. But those things that needs implementation. And I think that is why we all talked about the reforms and some of the reforms. In my view, we did not go far enough. But that's fine. I mean, we are all different people in the party. It's not everything that I would suggest that the majority will buy. You understand? But I also don't subscribe to the view that you should throw everything out there. No. The reasons why we lost and the difficult things that the lessons that have to be learned, we learn them in those and we use them to anchor and guide our path going forward. So, no.
So you think the Okoye report should not be made so public to everyone?
No, we've never done that. This is not the first time. Dr. Heyman's report, Safumafu's report, and even the NDC.
Kwesi Botwe?
Yeah, so these are political reports that you should imbibe and use that to guide your steps going forward. And I think that is what we are trying to do. So they shouldn't expect. Why should we?
But have you seen it as an individual important?
I haven't seen it.
You heard about what is in it?
I heard about, at least Professor Okoye gave us a verbal summary. And for me, what he touched on, which was a common strand, wherever he went, people were not happy with the delegate system. In fact, he used the words, the delegate system is broken. That's Professor Okoye. So I thought, we shouldn't have tinkered with it. We should have done more.
An overhaul, a big overhaul.
A big overhaul. I mean, if you go.
But they announced that this process is ending in 2028, whereby then it is expected that all registered and in good standing members of the party can vote at all of these elections.
But you see, the gravity of the defeat that we suffered, you know, so the masses of our party want to see some drastic action taken now. And we've been to conference and made some amendments and provisions. Even unfortunately, I mean, there's something they are calling a sunrise clause or whatever they call it. So the implementation of some of these expansions will not happen immediately, which is something I'm uncomfortable with. But
well, okay, but most of it is happening for 31st January.
No.
Former polling constituency executives are voting.
If you look at the numbers, all the former constituency executives, former ministers and all that, but that is not a big number.
There's a polling station that's a big
That's right. And so, although I wanted personally, and I pushed that, spoke to that, but somehow...
I was speaking to an MP, Charles Forson of Tema Central, and he said that in all of these analysis, we've only added 1,000. Just about that, not significant.
That's what I'm saying. That's why in my speech today I talked about tinkering with the Electoral College. I mean, I'm a party person, so I feel it very difficult to disagree openly with some of the things that we do. But I thought we've just tinkered with it. And to make matters worse, the two that we are going to add to the polling stations, which I found completely inadequate, but that was what the majority decided at council, would have given us an extra 80,000. Even that, we are being told now that we can't have it till the polling station elections are held in February. So I was of the feel that if indeed their mandate was going to end in February or March, it is so close to January 31st. Why can't we talk to the polling station and say, look,
run your elections.
We don't want to terminate your mandate of last time. But considering the fact that we want to have an early primary because we want to have a focal point as a political party, and I agree with having an early primary. I am for it because we need to have a focal point that we can rally around. But by the same token, we can speak to the polling stations. The executives, the national executives can make a case that although your mandate is supposed to end in February, can we, for good reason, because we want you to participate, the other two to come and join you participate, maybe can we curtail it by 2 months and let you do it in December so that we can have the polling station elections in November or December and have a new set of polling stations in place so that they can participate.
Originally, that's what somebody said to me, that's really what the decision was.
That is what I thought, but somehow...
They're going to do the polling stations elections in November, December. Yes. That's the only one that will be done before January.
Yes, but I'm being told now that it's a bit different. I didn't stay throughout the conference.
No, I think they've announced everything. Yes. There's no election until January 31st. Somebody from Master Planner Junior, who is an NPP full soldier, says that please kindly ask Kwabena Agyapong that if the party members, especially delegates, want him in a certain position to serve, but he also feels to be in a different position, will he sacrifice and follow their call? He didn't say which position.
How do you evaluate their call?
He said, will you sacrifice and follow their call?
How do you evaluate that call? So
well, I think they have.
I know there has been a call for me to be chairman of the party.
Oh, that's what they want.
Yes, but at the end of the day, everybody has their own political plan. Okay, I've been general secretary, ran the party before, so I want to be the flag bearer of the party and be able to transform the country. I'm very passionate about the transformation of Ghana, and so Master Planner, I'm very grateful that you
they want you to be chairman.
You see me worthy of such a high position, but at the end of the day, it's not, the way he talks about it as if chairman is such a lesser position. I don't think so. We all have different views of.
Oh, but now the chairman of the NPP has been elevated to be the all-time leader of the party. That situation where
it's also something that I don't understand. I mean, frankly, why the party chairman has always been leader of the party.
No, when there was a presidential candidate, it changed a little bit.
The party, even when you have a president, when we go into meetings, the president does not chair. I quite remember President Kufuor at a meeting at the National Old Headquarters. He made a mistake of sitting in the chairman's chair. He was respectfully reminded that that is the chair of the chairman. And although he's president, he can't sit there. So we all understand that. But we all know and appreciate that the presidential candidate is the most important person. Well, he's the one whose face is going to be on the ballot. He's the one who has the potential to become the president of the republic. So let's talk about the chairman being the leader. For me, it's not there. Because at the end of the day, once we have a flag bearer, all of us,
everyone will gravitate towards the flag bearer.
We've got to work for him.
He's the decision maker.
That's right. So some of these things, it's not everything. You want to select your battles. So those are things I didn't really want to, raise too much of a fuss about. I believe that when the president is there, we all rally around the presidential candidate. For me, all dedicated patriots should do that. So I'm very confident that I'll have the opportunity, God willing, have the strength and the wherewithal with support from people like you to raise the funding, because it takes a lot of money to be able to go around the 276 constituencies, have an opportunity to be in the media and talk to them. And if they do me the favor...
Do you have a mobile money app where people can pay 10 cities, 20 cities, 1 city, 5 cities, 100 cities, 200 cities?
Yes. The last time I tried it, it brought in some amount of money, not too much. But I'll do it again. I'll launch that very soon.
I see. Okay.
But I think resourceful people like you should be able to do more.
I can pay 200 cities every month to Kwabena Agyapong's campaign.
You should be able to give me a down payment of 10,000.
Oh, no, I can't. Anyway, do you have some text messages? Some sports reporter sends me a text message that we can talk about later. Ask Kwabena Agyapong that the Asante Kotoko, this very famous old question everybody asks, the Asante Kotoko team of 82 and 83, which was stronger? I mean, this famous question they ask.
Oh, yeah, because football is like that.
It evolves.
Not that it evolves. Sometimes the best team does not win.
That's really the point.
I mean, the team in 82 with Opukwa Free was a better team.
But it didn't win.
The team in 83 were not so good as, but they won.
Yeah.
So that is life. It happens in life as well.
I see.
It's not always
the better prepared does not always get it.
No, not at all. I mean, life is like that.
The best. I'm preparing to write a book about the best campaign, because the best campaigns that don't win elections.
Oh yeah.
We've seen great campaigns that didn't win elections.
Politics is very different, especially in our part of the world. There's a lot of sentiment.
So you can have a great campaign, but you don't win. You can have
we vote more on sentiment than anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a fact.
But politicians must recognize that.
We don't want to say it, but it is a fact.
Politicians must recognize that. I mean, Akufo-Addo and NPP lost votes because he carried a chair into the vehicle, which has nothing really to do with his competence as president, whether he does. But
when you rub
the optics
when you
are always very important.
People the wrong way, they want to punish you.
Whether you are the best leader, you're the best minister, they don't care.
So Ghanaians love their respect. So show them the respect. Don't be dismissive of what they worry about. Take it on board. Address it. Even if you can't satisfy it all, let them feel that...
And it doesn't matter how popular you were before.
No.
Nkrumah was very popular. He came to zero.
That's right.
And we've seen people who had won elections, very popular, come to zero.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for the politicians, isn't it?
Well, I think that we should endeavor to do the right thing. I believe that it is not difficult to do the right thing. Take the right decisions.
With social media, there's a lot of pressure.
Well, I think social media is also having its toll on us. You know, there's no tolerance. We have become very un-Ghanaian, very insulting and disrespectful to our elders. And that's not how we were. You know, that's not how we were treated when we were growing up. We were brought up to respect our elders. And that even if you disagree with them, you do so with respect. So I think the acerbic tongues that are running around the politics in our country, that has to stop. The disrespect for one another has to stop. You know, because it is only when we show respect for ourselves that we can, Ghanaians will feel a sense of belonging to what we do. So it's very important that we change this very caustic style of politicking, which is, has become a dominant feature in recent times in our politics.
We have Kwabena here. He's going to talk about Lumba. What can you say about Lumba just before we wrap up?
As I said to you, I mean, Lumba was a friend, a personal friend, apart from the fact that as a young person, I loved his songs. And your good friend Kwame Sifekai will always play on Fridays for me and Kwanema. You know,
oh, I see.
Because I loved it, you know, and I saw you show Kempong today.
Yes.
He's also a very close friend of mine. So me and him have met in Kwowu several times with Lumba in his household. And Lumba stays quite close to me. And
oh, I see, at your house.
Yes.
Okay.
So the picture you saw, it's not too long ago. I was in his hall. We chat a lot. He's a very soft-spoken. But when you get to learn Lumba, the optics you see very different from the personality.
I see.
He's a very calm guy, you know. So you think he's an outgoing. He doesn't go out.
Oh, he doesn't?
Lumba hardly goes out. Sometimes I have to say, let's take a... He will not go out. He stays, you know, so sometimes the music side, entertainment side is different from the actual personality. Very soft-spoken, and it's a sad story. I mean...
Another question is coming in. That's the last one we'll take before Kwabena comes in. It says, please ask Engineer Kwabena Japan, in his honest opinion, the tribal and religious sentiments contribute to the defeat of the NPP in 2024 elections. Very sensitive question.
Some of these questions, in the first place, we shouldn't be asking them, because all of us know the truth. There are things we are all uncomfortable with. That's why I said Ghanaians vote on sentiment. But it doesn't lie in the mouth of we the politicians to exacerbate such talk by we repeating this kind of talk. At the end of the day, people vote for a variety of reasons. It's not for nothing that we the NPP, we've been castigated from time immemorial, from Buzia's time, because of the Aliens Compliance Order, and we've been presented in a certain light by the NDC, and they continue to hammer it. You understand? So these are uncomfortable things, and as Ghanaians, if we pride our Ghanaianness beyond everything, we reduce the propaganda effects of things like that. So respectfully to the questioner, I'm not someone, I'm a politician who is detribalized. Born in Kumasi, schooled in Cape Coast, Kotokraba, Tibitum Kafanse Kakra, and then brought up in Osu, you know, because that's where I grew up, Osu Kinkawe, Rage, and, you know.
That enclave.
That enclave, you know. So I see myself as a Ghanaian first. See myself as a Ghanaian. As a civil engineer, you work on the Voradeb roads, and in those days, you sleep in the bush in Hohoi. Who Sikuma Junction, Breweniase, and Kwanta. That was even before the advent of politics. This is engineering, survey and design. When we were doing the Yamransa Road, you are sleeping in a camp, you know, in Asimmansu, Asimfosu, or, you know, we had what we call the mobile maintenance unit. You go and spend 1 month in Ejuso, 1 month in Offenso. So I am a detribalized Ghanaian. I've been around this whole country from Hamile to Chuchuliga, to Pusiga, to Jewiwaf, to Keta, everywhere. And I appreciate our Ghanaianness. So I don't like people stereotyping politics, stereotyping Ghanaians into you come from here. I am a Ghanaian first and foremost, and I'm proud of my Ghanaianness. Of course, yes, I was born in Kumasi. My mother comes from Asokore Mampo. My father comes from Oyoko, which makes me a full-blooded Ashanti. But that is neither here nor there. And I think all of us have to strive and stop this tribal thing that is consuming us, you know. And so, Paul, with respect, I'm uncomfortable with delivering.
Okay, we'll be talking again. I'll be following you on the campaign. But let's take the text messages as Kwabena Japan leaves us, as Kwabena comes in. Kobe first, they say.
So again from Master Planner Jr., he says, Kwabena Japan is one of the candidates and patriots I adore and respect very much. Imagine losing an election against a candidate and later on being the campaign manager for the same candidate. It takes an honest and trustworthy person to do that. Uncle Kwabena is that person. I wish him so very well in the contest ahead. Now Saeed Countryman says, the respected Kwabena Japan has been consistent with his love for party and preferring alternative ways to fine-tuning the party's decisions and programs. He has it all, but the essence of democracy is not always to be in the ring as a candidate, but to also invest in others to harness and grow a collective resolve. Dr. Bawumia stands tall, going into the 31st January primary, and Kwabena Japan will be the better chief of staff under a Bawumia presidency. A far cry from the burgeoning despot in place today. As a man of years in the NPP tradition, he knows the wind blows for Bawumia, and he will do better helping to bear the impending Bawumia presidency. Now finally, Raymond Akakea says, Kwabena Japan is the leader Ghana never had. He is eloquent, full of visionary ideas for Mother Ghana, and a loyal stalwart of the NPP fraternity. However, I would encourage him to support Dr. Bawumia, who has already been chosen by the kingmakers of the NPP to lead the effort to make Ghana great again. I wish him well. What do you have for us on it?
Yeah, so still on Engineer Kwabena Japan, Francis says, Paul, kindly ask him why he abandoned DNB to contest him. Has he lost his trust in him, or what exactly is the reason why he's launched his campaign? Alfred Boache thinks that Kwabena Japan is a strategist. He would want to be a running mate to Alhaji Bawumia. Now, Shifman says, I love the spirit of Mr. Kwabena Japan to bring back the virtues and values of the elephant family, and I can only wish him well, though my preferred candidate isn't him. Kwame Sopon says, Paul, the grassroots of the NPP appreciate Kwabena's contribution to the party. However, my concern with him is his far distance touch with the base of the party, yet he claims he is with the base. During the last contesting period for the flag bearer position of the party, little did we see of him. As a matter of fact, he speaks well but does little for the base that he touted to fight for. Now, lastly, Saeed Country, NS Trim says, I would suggest the NPP to bring all the aspirants for the presidential candidacy on board. The aspirant that gets the highest vote becomes the flag bearer, the second person takes the vice president, and the third person takes the chief of staff position. Now back to you, Paul.
Interesting suggestion. Brian Boabin says that Kwabena Japan is solid. He is an extraordinary patriot who has the party's interests at heart. I was unable to attend his program, but almost everyone who did said he spoke very well, including Mrs. Newman, a long-standing member of this tradition. We have capable men to bring the party back to power. I wish him very well, says Samuel Brian Boabing. Okay, let's hear what Atia Tina had to say, and then Kwabena is.
Bodo Starga through Esther Mwako. That's the first time I met him. She's the first lady that I recorded with. That's a Mitrimu Ponyabone album, and it has the He Can Do It on it. He is the Lord. Is there anything too hard for him? He is the Lord. He has said it, and surely will do. Hold on to your faith, your confession, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. He can do it. He can do it. Do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do. The sound engineer, he was the sound engineer for Daddy Lumba as well. So he just popped up one day and said, Tina, I have good news for you. Daddy Lumba doesn't have a backing vocalist. And I told him about you. I told him I have this young lady that can sing. I want to bring her over, so we try her. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. You like playing, like, you know, are you serious? Daddy Lumba wants to try me. I was like, yeah. I spoke about him. I told him you're very gifted. I think you can do it. We should try you. So we were living in Holland. Holland and Germany shares borders. So we drove over to Daddy Lumba. It's about 6 hours drive from Holland to Germany, where Daddy Lumba was located. So this is the very first song that I recorded with Daddy Lumba. Oh, do fesichire gumitrimane na niye. Neka sempe guma suma wasingumie. Asoko here, asoko there. More don't say. Asoko here, asoko there. More don't say. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, baby. All day, all night, alright. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, baby. All day, all night, alright.
There's a video of Kwabena Kwabena attending Daddy Lumba's residence at East Legon earlier today. Do you have it? Kwabena Kwabena was in the company of Becca, I believe, and who else was there? Somebody? Stacy Amwate, Ochami Kofi's wife, Stacy, and do you have the video? If you have it, let's see it. Oh, they're looking for it. Okay. Kwabena, how did you get to know that Lumba had passed on Saturday morning? I mean, we started with he had passed, and the Dusty came in and said it's not true. We're all very relieved and excited. Then, boom, they said it was true.
Yeah. On the morning, Saturday mornings, I do walk with a couple of friends out there. So we were on the walk. My phone was in the car. So after the walk, I came to my phone and I'd received tons of calls and some messages. Some people trying to find out from me whether the news is really true. So the moment I also saw it, I started making phone calls. I called. I think the first person I called was KOD to ask him about it. And he even said, oh, said that So, you know, we felt like it was one of those rumors. So we just debunked it. And then minutes later, I received another phone call. Then I was like, no, let me check again. So I called Andy Dusty.
Andy Dusty?
Yeah. And he couldn't pick because I think at the time, I think he was on radio.
He was on air, yeah.
Yeah, it was on air. So I just sent messages around to find out what's going on. Then few minutes later, the confirmation started coming in. And then I tried to contact some, you know, very immediate people I know, like DJ Hitman. I tried Roman Father, it wasn't going through. But then it seemed as if, you know, that's
true.
What has actually happened. Yes, and eventually I got the confirmation that, yeah, it's true. Papa is gone.
When was the last time you had seen him or dealt with him?
Last time I saw him was at his concert, the Legends Night concert. You know, I should have seen him last year, but unfortunately I had my concert, my Valentine concert on Valentine's Day on 14th February, and he had his on the next day at the same venue. So, I mean, I was liaising with his people. We all promoting the show hand in hand. I met with Sewa Meher on TV. I mean, they promoted mine, I promoted theirs. So it's like, you know, I had not seen him in a while, but then I was in contact with almost everybody around him. Yeah.
Wow. It's very complicated. The life of musicians, you are in it. What should we be sympathizing with, actually?
I can say that we are the most lonely people.
Lonely?
Very lonely.
Musicians?
Yep.
with all these, your band and your producers and your Apietusis and KODs and how are you lonely?
I must say, we are, you see, because there is that perception that you are in the eye of the public. Almost everybody loves what you do. People get excited to see you. So your life is all fun. So, you know, so with that perception, one, you don't even get the right people, or say, let me, I want a better word, like genuine people around you. Like almost everybody has a certain prejudice around you. Okay, they don't really take time to get to know you, the person, and know how you feel or know how you are coping. You get what I'm saying? It's perceived that because of what you do and the excitement it brings, you must be a happy person at all times. And you
so they think Kwabena is always in love because he's talking love.
You know what I mean?
So they see Kwabena get angry. They say, I didn't know that he was like that.
Yeah, he was like that.
Yeah, he's terrible.
You know what I mean? Everybody expects you to put up a smile, to be lovely at all times. Almost every woman sees you like you're a womanizer, you're a lover boy. There are a whole lot of, you know.
But women, young women gravitate towards musicians and successful musicians quite a bit. So you may become a womanizer by default because you're a successful musician.
You see, with that perception, that also renders you lonely because every woman coming around you has a certain perception that you have tons of women already.
So you're not taking her serious.
There you go. So you miss out sometimes even on true love. You miss out on true friendship. You miss out on, you know, the naturality of everything. I mean, everything is perception based around you.
So all of these things must have happened to Lumba.
I believe, and even more, because the kind of person he was and the music he's produced over the years and the legend he is in a space of, let's say, 3 decades of being a star.
Very long.
You know, I mean, I remember, I mean, vividly, the very first time I saw Lumba as a kid, I was on my way to school around Achimota. Now the whole place is developed. They used to call that junction taxi rank those days. Now, Daddy Lumba, I think Daddy Lumba had released a new album and he had released a new Mercedes-Benz 2-door CLK, right? And he got to the junction and there was a woman selling. They were selling plantain and all, I mean, cassava and all of that by the roadside. And I think it was around Christmas. And one of the women said, Daddy Lumba, mi bro nya dewe. And this man dipped into his car, brought out a bundle of cash, and just released it in the air to the market women.
Whoa.
That was the first time I saw Lumba.
Whoa. That's an interesting story.
At Achimota Taxi Rank. That was the first time.
You were just a student?
I was just a student. I was in JHS at the time.
So you were not Kwabena then?
No. No.
Oh, wow. So he didn't know you?
I didn't know him.
Did you tell him this story?
Matter of fact, yes. When I met him the first time, he invited me to his house. You know, he was excited about, you know, my craft. And he contacted one of his boys who knew me, Kofi Stone, that he's excited about me. He wants to meet. And I was excited, like, that Lumba wants to meet. And it was simple to see him too because I lived at St. John's. And at the time, he lived at Tantra Hill, his Tantra Hill residence. So, I mean, Kofi Stone came to pick me up, went to his house, and matter of fact, he sat with me for over an hour having a conversation with me. And I actually told him, like, he's been my inspiration because that's the first thing I saw an artist do, and that was huge. And me loving music at the time and everything I wanted to be, he actually inspired me with that gesture at that moment.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's very interesting. Now, did you, was he rich? Was Lumba rich?
Yes.
He was?
Yes.
Really?
Because at their time, I think the executive producers chased them with money.
They chased them with money?
Yeah, it's not like these days. Those who know. It's not like these days where, you know, I mean, times have changed. With them, even before the album will be released, people have placed orders. with their money. I want 100,000 copies. I want
of cassettes.
Of cassettes, yes. I want 200,000 copies. I want 300. Like everybody plays, and you put your money down.
So Lumba would easily sell for one of his songs. The first famous one is what? Ankwanoma with Nana Champo. We easily sell 1 million cassettes.
Yeah,
yes. That's the first one, isn't it?
Sure, yeah.
They could easily do that, and the money will come to them.
They sold.
And the money came to them, or it went to a producer.
Those who know the records will tell you. If I'm not mistaken, I stand to be corrected. I think one of the best-selling cassettes is Nankabede Nayoya by Nana Champo.
That's Nana Champo, yes, exactly. Yes. That was a big one.
Huge.
Yeah.
And I'd say when you accumulate everything Lumba produced at the time, around that time, I can say he surpasses almost every artist in terms of sales.
But people who enjoyed Ankabede and perhaps knew that there was a song against Lumba, and they were Lumba fans, and they yet liked Nane Champon's Ankabede and When it was released, there were months into the release that people were wondering whether it is Nane Champon or it is Lumba. So Charlie Sam and Tommy and Forsen had to always say that this is a music by Nane Champon. And he mentions his name in it as well.
Yeah.
So why did they enjoy it so much? Why didn't we grow tired of the Lumba beat? Because if you listen to and tribute to Andy Dusty, he's been doing a program these days called The Library, where he talks about these things. I just love that library show. Andy Dusty, you're the man. So if you listen to the Ankabede and Ayoya and you listen to all the Lumba, the beats are the same. We never got tired of it. All the way till Ethiopia, you can get the same beats. Why did we not get tired of the same kind of beats?
You see, production is such that when it's done very well, when it's mixed very well, when it's mastered very well, the sound alone carries you. So although you might feel it's a bit monotonous in terms of rhythm, Ghanaians resonate with lyrics a lot. And, you know, we are people who gravitate towards things that has to do with, let me use the keyword, equitiable.
We like that. We like those songs.
Of course, we kind of like that. And the kind of setting we have in Ghana being, let's say, we mostly lived in compound houses.
Yes.
You get what I'm trying to say? And so people use music to communicate a lot.
To fight.
You know what I mean? And when it comes to music that speaks, I would say Papa is the best.
Yeah, Lumba. He was able to gauge the mood of the people.
Yeah.
I mean, the only song that may not have been gauging the mood of the people at the time, but still resonated was Antiata.
Yeah.
Which is a song about love and marriage. Oh, Foreign Concern was in that one? Oh, Foreign Concern was in it?
Yeah, that was Foreign Concern's first outing with Lumba.
With Lumba. Oh, I see. Exactly. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so Foreign Concern is also the product of Lumba. He sounded similar.
Yep.
He sounded similar. Yeah, I see.
I mean, Lumba, you see, truthfully, I don't think any artist has developed or produced young upcoming artists more than Lumba has. Lumba has a tall list of artists he's supported, he's picked from, you know.
Tell me some of them. So there's Oforian Ponsa.
There's Oforian Ponsa. There is Kofi T. There is Kofi B. There is
names are
Bring Your US Man. There is a whole lot of them. I can even put myself in that category.
I see. That's interesting.
I mean, a whole lot of.
Did you get to see him at work?
I never got to see him at work because he's that guy who records when no one is there.
In Germany.
In Germany, wherever. He records. Those who know him will tell you.
But Bodo Steiger was always there.
No, but the Steiger is the engineer.
He's the engineer.
He's the producer.
Yes.
Apart from the producer or the engineer in the studio.
Lumba goes to the studio with no one?
Nobody. Unless.
So if you have to do backing vocals for him?
Unless you're working. He teaches you what to do.
Okay.
He tells you what to do. He will be there with you. Unless you are working. What I'm trying to say is, unless you are playing a certain role in the studio,
you're not there just to be there for not doing nothing.
You are not there.
To come and watch.
You are not there. You are not there as a spectator. No.
I see.
No.
That's interesting. I wanted to ask you about the guy who played Akwankwa, Lee Dodu. Was he not connected to Lumba somehow? That song sounds very much like Lumba. Akwankwa.
Yeah. You see, at the time, people like Kweku Mensah, people like Bodo Stega, and recording in Bodo Stega's studio.
Where is the Bodo Stega studio? I mean, in Commonwealth Hall in Lagos, we used to laugh at it. Where is it? Is it in Düsseldorf? Is it in Hamburg?
I think it's in Hamburg.
Is it Hamburg?
Yes.
Is he alive, Bodo Stega?
I should think so.
He needs an award. He has to get an award in Ghana because he produced Ohiniba Kisi and
loads,
all of these
loads of them.
Germany people.
Gospel artists and all of that. Loads of them.
See.
I mean, it's regrettable that I never got to record with him. It's one of the things I wished I could.
He's German.
Yes.
White German.
White German.
Wow.
Yeah. But then you see, the trick of the whole thing is Ghanaians actually do the pre-production, and then Papa will take every file out there for Bodo to expand it, bring it into that kind of pop high life music we all enjoy. So it was a very good collaboration between the pre-production of the Ghanaians. Like, I mean, somebody like Kweku Mensah stands very tall when it comes to the pre-production of Papa's music.
Wow. Everybody's texting me. This is such a wonderful interview. You should have done it for 2 hours. Can you also get KKD? Okay, I discussed that with Kofi. Whether Kwesi Chedakwa will come. Maybe we'll talk to him and see whether he'll come on Thursday to talk about it. But what Kobna Kobna is saying is interesting. Everyone loves it. Okay, there's an important message from one who knows the industry, William Asari. Let me see what he's saying and then read it. He says that Ohiniba Kisi and Felix Owusu is adding to the names Borax, etc.
Borax,
people who Lumba brought up. And he says Bodo Stega is dead. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Uncle Willie, good evening. Wow. I saw you in Kojo Intree's company the other day. Okay, Charles Techi also says Bodo Stega was born in October 27, 1949 in Germany. He was an actor known for House of Boys, Seth II, and The Fun. Okay, those are, I think, films he did. He died on December 4th, 2019. Okay. More people coming in. Oh, people like the music conversation. I should open a program for music conversation only. People want to know what the arts, because in many countries the arts earns a lot of money, and here we have the talent and we're not getting anything out of it, and it's very, very sad. We have to have a government who's going to focus on these arts and get something really done for people who have talents to sing. Bodo died a year ago, Paul. Okay, they said 2019, but you say a year ago. Lee Dodu is one of the greatest Ghanaian vocalists of all time, and Pat Thomas as well. Okay, that's an interesting analysis of that one. Okay, all right. Let's move on. So finally, let me talk about also still the. So you guys live this life of, you discover your talent at late 20s. You are in a 9th life till 60. It can have a toll on your health. It can, but then you need to be in the balance. So you're traveling. Is it different from what is happening with, say, a Stoneboy, Shatawale, Medical now? Is it different?
There is some form of a difference.
Because now they can go to the studio, make a song, nobody hears it, but they make money out of it.
Yeah.
Because they are broadcasting to the 30 million, 6 billion people across the world.
Streams.
So I talked to Shatawale once in a while. I said, oh, Badman, you haven't made any song. He said, oh, Badman, you're too old. I've made 40 songs.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
40.
Of course.
And I didn't hear one.
Of course.
He said, but go on Spotify. You grow too much. You grow. Then you'll be laughing at me.
It's a streaming and, it's a digital world now.
Yeah.
And things are quite different.
So it's okay to now go to the studio and not worry about having Bolare to play. It's not worry about having KOD to play. Not worry about having Kwame Sefakai to play it. And it will play.
It will play.
And money will come.
Exactly. I mean, there's a strategy of promoting in times like this.
Yeah.
I mean, we have influencers.
Yeah, the TikTokers.
We have the TikTokers, the Snapchat people. I mean, you just need to get people to actually get the music to trend.
That's about it.
The moment the music is trending, people jump on the music.
To hear what it's about, yeah.
Exactly. And then the streams shoot. That's about it lately. It's not like back in the days where you produce music, you need to make sure that all the top DJs get it.
Yeah.
You need to do your payola.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Make sure that you visit almost every...
one of the biggest, the longest laughter I have ever had was between myself, Carlos Von Brazi, and Bafo Bonnie, who is dead, at Radio Gold.
Right.
This payola conversation.
Yeah.
So what is payola? Then Brazi said, let me take the dictionary. So we said, dictionary? He said, yes, let me take the dictionary. So he went to Radio Gold, called a place listening room.
Right.
He went to a listening room, pulled the dictionary out. So Bafo Bonnie was interested. I went there. Yeah. We opened, and we saw the word payola. And the first word in the explanation was a bribe. And we laughed for about 20 minutes. We were running helter-skelter. And people asking us, why are you laughing? We said, go and look at the dictionary. The first word is payola, a bribe.
Yeah.
And we had such an amazing laugh.
Yeah.
So you need to pay payola.
Of course.
People don't pay payola anymore. But they will impoverish us in the media if you don't pay payola.
You know, what it is like that now there are multiple ways of promoting music. Unlike, you know.
So the role that Onosei Kwame Despite played is no longer available?
It is available.
Where he will go to Germany, bring the original cassette, has permission to duplicate, he sends it around, he goes back to report to Germany that I need more, this is what is happening. That role is not there anymore.
No, that's not there anymore. Cassettes even CDs are not there anymore.
Because when he sings a song in Germany, I can hear it today. You know those days a song is released in America? And it takes a long time for somebody to bring the record.
Oh, this time it's just a second away. I mean, it's digital. I mean, they are putting in all those.
So you guys should be making a lot of money.
You see, Paul, the difference is we make money through a third party. So this is where the structures need to come in. You know, we need to build structures where we'll be able to have a direct source to our.
But the Spotify comes straight to you.
No, they don't. Unless you're with. You see, what it is the labels control everything.
Okay.
So unless you're signed to a label, if you're an independent artist like I am, then I have to deal with a DSP, a distributor. You know, and the distributor actually is the person who is going to be dealing with Spotify, will be dealing with Apple Music, will be dealing with AudioMac, will be dealing with all those.
So he takes a commission off you.
Exactly, he takes a commission off me. But if it is a record label, I'll give you an example, like Universal Records, like Empire Music. You know, they have the machinery, you know what I mean, to be able to put or pitch the music almost everywhere on every playlist to make sure that they recoup whatever they put in. So without that kind of machinery, it's difficult for you to be able to, you know, make the sales or make the revenue.
So finally, would you support a suggestion like, and this is for the politicians, we need to have a music industry development chain. So let's spend taxpayers' money and establish a record label. Which is a national record label, but we call it something. Along the line, we establish a school that is training new musicians. So the record label becomes successful. It puts our musicians up there. The record label is working only for Ghanaian musicians. So we can spend taxpayers about $100 million. We hit a record label, is all over the world. It's for the states, and Ghana Revenue Authority sees what's coming through.
That's right.
So it's promoting Kwabena Kwabena, it's promoting Shatawale, it's promoting. People don't know it's for Ghana or whatever, but but it's there and it's working. Should we do something like that so that you don't need to go and look for a record label? Black Sheriff doesn't need to look for a record labal. Stonebwoy doesn't look. There's a national record label in which $100 million of Ghanaian taxpayers' money has been invested. How does the taxpayers' money get? How does the tax guy gets his money back? So from Kwabena Kwabena, from Stonebwoy, from everybody, the state will take a commission of whatever is coming. But now you just go to the studio, you're a talent, and there's a record label to produce. If the record label is that important in the chain, shouldn't we spend taxpayers' money to build one?
You see, that's an interesting conversation that, you know, the government need to be having. Because it's very important for us to be intentional about talented people in the nation.
Yes, very important. Or in every area.
Yeah, we need to be very intentional about it. And the investment needs to come in. Because if we can identify, let's say, 4 or 5 artists, which we believe that they are sellable, which we believe that they can raise a certain form of revenue, and we put in the investment, of course we'll make our returns. So like you're saying, if the nation will be intentional about things like this, and find ways to be able to export our talent, find ways to be able to inject, you know, investment into talented people. Of course, we can always make the revenue.
Create a whole industry, because if we have a record label, then you can create a job for people who are working for Kwabena Kwabena, who are working for this, working for that. We build studios in a Dodowa or in somewhere, create a whole enclave of music, and then you see Nigerians coming in, other people coming in.
You see, let me give you this.
We can get somewhere with that.
Let me give you this twist. You see, look at the number of people an artist employs. An artist. An artist employs fashion people. An artist employs musicians, let's say session men. An artist employs managers. So one person
Marketing.
on a night, let's say on the night of my show, let's say my Valentine's show, the kind of people I employ on the night, the number of people one person or one artist or one act is employing on the night, should tell you that this is an industry we can't joke with.
Yeah, creates employment very rapidly.
We create employment easily.
So if you're on the record label also, the record label says, come now, if we sign you on, every month you do a concert.
Yep.
Every quarter you release a new song. You can't do that, we take you off the record label.
That's right.
So there's a lot of hard work in there.
Of course, I mean, since this is what you do, this is what we do for fun. And fortunately for us, you get paid for it. You know what I mean? So it's fun to get, I mean, something behind you which is investing in you, and all that you need to do is bring your talent to bear, bring everything in you, and just explore and do what you do best that makes you happy. So I mean, I don't think this is something
we have to continue this conversation.
For
I'm going to speaking to politicians. I like talking to them, and I'll tell them about this one.
Yeah.
Let's do the final round of text messages. Kobe, I think. Kobe? Yes, Kobe.
All right, thank you, Paul. So, Shifman Osei says, what a night with Kwabena on the show tonight. This is the kind of educated musician I have listened to. Daddy Lumba paid his dues, and may his gentle soul rest in peace. Now, Rabiu lecturer says, Daddy Lumba wasn't just a lyricist. He was the greatest. His voice, you simply couldn't ignore it. It grabbed you, resonated deep within your soul. He sang from the very essence of creation, weaving tales from the innocent dawn of birth, through the intricate, unpredictable journey of life, and all the way to its inevitable quiet close. He didn't just master his craft, he breathed life into it, expressing every raw emotion. The profound joy of gratitude, and even the fiery intensity of his legendary beef with Nana Echampong, a rivalry that, let's be honest, was the most unforgettable chapter in our musical history. A true legend he was, and a legend he will forever remain. It's touching, isn't it? Today we see the children of the future, the next generation, echoing his timeless words, honoring his memory with the very truths he so powerfully articulated as a mere mortal. It's a poignant reminder that just as he taught us, my tree is not good, but Obiara Mreso, Antoinette, could you help me, please?
Obiara Mreswa Obeko.
Thank you. To wait. Everyone's time will come and they will go. He is gone, but his melody, his wisdom, and his spirit live on. What do you have for us, Antoinette?
Yes, one Abdulatif Ramadan is saying we should ask Kwabena why he withdrew from the UPSA SLC election and if he would be contesting again next year. Saidu Abdul says Daddy Lumba was a god on his own. He made a lot of people love the NPP party. He will always be remembered as a strong patriot who would be in the bosom of the Elephant Party. Rest in perfect peace. Now, lastly, Yao February says all the testimonies and tributes of Daddy Lumba from different personalities across Ghana and the world have proven that he was very accommodating, frank, supportive, and his songs impacted more lives, and he is definitely irreplaceable. Rest in perfect peace. Now back to you, Paul.
Thank you very much for watching more music conversations, and we're grateful to Kwabena. He called him just this evening, and Kofi Ochidako couldn't make it, and Kwabena was playing tennis, so you see he's very fit, and he agreed to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. Good evening, Ghana. Good night.